Well, good morning, guys. We made it through the election cycle, at least yesterday. It is November 4th, 2020, 8 a.m., reporting out of North Metro Atlanta. Hello, Zeus Scott. How are you? Good to see you this morning. What's that about some amount of subs that says 8.95 million? That can't be my channel. That's for sure, because I'm about to break it down. Why not? Because, guys, it's for humanity. Okay, so the election results. Let's just talk about it. We're not going to find out anything for quite some time, and it's going to be chaos because of how I've laid it out.
Thanks to all
Elections outcomes are going to be unclear. Votes are not counted.
Adams,
machines are messing up. Yada yada.
There's some Wayne County vote drop.
So I'm gonna play this for a minute. This is Lochner at Agenda Free TV, and then I'm going to bring up a video by Joe Ambrosio
to our Facebook
and we'll talk about it.
And our Twitch mods. Eliza, Idaho Star, Smoke.
So let's just check this out for a minute.
Tribus.
It's apparent he's been on for hours. He's tired. So was I. I couldn't make it last night. I had to sleep. I was deprived of a lot of sleep. So, guys, I fell asleep and my stream cut off. I'm sorry about that. I couldn't make it back. I was too tired, and I can show you some reasons why. The Schumann resonance is at a peak that it hasn't been in so long, for the last day and a half, 2 days almost. So, I think everybody needs their sleep, because it might be a rocky ride in the near future. I don't know.
Just wait to hear more from Michigan.
This is the election outcome here in the United States, guys, so far. So I'm going to let this play out for a minute. And then, you've been up all night, Amos?
Wow. It's so important right now.
I tried. I did it all the weeks before. And last night, something hit me. I can't tell you what.
There's a lead in Nevada. It's small, but it doesn't.
I believe the frequencies
not really clear how
are hitting me hard, because that cell phone tower outside my neighborhood, they were doing soming to it yesterday. I have the video of it.
Trump will overcome that.
Who knows? But there's something going on worldwide right
Arizona, now. By 5%.
Give me a minute, and I'm going to pull it up.
Have already projected him as the winner of that. So if he wins those,
I'm just waking up like at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So yeah.
And he's barely trailing.
Give me a minute. I want to show you the Schumann resonance. And this is election outcome right now, so far. We're not going to know anything for a while, guys. And if we do, it might go in a lot different ways than we think. I don't know. I'm just looking at all the optics laid out before us.
Blake News says, so much money is going to pour into that Georgia runoff in January. That could be for control of the Senate. Thank you, History Underfoot, for your kind words. Oh yeah, what's the betting fair? Somebody mentioned betting market. If I go to predict it, it's kind of odd that Trump is still at 22 cents. But maybe some people think he's going to go to court and win it in court or something.
Two got stabbed in D.C. last night. Doesn't surprise me one bit, guys. This is
see the betting market actually. Georgia is
this is by far over.
To go blue, but I don't trust the betting market as the, as political experts. But they say it might. They give it right now. The betting markets have Michigan as a strong blue favorite, and then Pennsylvania slightly blue, Georgia slightly blue.
Georgia's not slightly blue. I don't believe that one bit. Just like Texas wasn't. All right, so we see the election is still not going to be
Oh, Dave Wasserman.
anywhere
I
near
missed him. He must have been doing
Clear.
TV coverage last night because he wasn't.
my. Bear with
So
me.
two things.
This
One,
internet's
Biden
slagging.
is well on his way to
Slugging.
Michigan and Wisconsin, in addition to Arizona and Nebraska.
So I can pause
He's
him.
doing well enough in Pennsylvania's completed counties to be.
I don't really want to pause him, but yeah. Okay, guys. I'm sorry. I haven't even had my tea yet. I'm drinking green tea. I just made it, but I haven't even sipped it because I'm trying to start my show here. I'm a little running late because I was playing with buttons and stuff. Anyways, this is the Schumann Resonance. It's at a very calm power right now. Look at this. This is really abnormal, guys. I don't know if this has the frequency of people's calmness or what's going on right now, but there's a lot going on with the sun that's very calm all of a sudden. See? And yeah, it's something to keep an eye on. And I don't know what's down the pipeline. It's just things have gotten really interesting the last couple weeks on a lot of levels. So on that note, I want to take you to a video from Joe Imbriono. I'm not saying his name right. Joe Imbrioso, I believe. Because everything he lays out in this video, and I just watched it like an hour ago, is everything that I feel very passionate about, except religion, which I'm just not. I don't believe in organized religion. However, everything else is great, except at the end of this video, which is his thoughts and his mind, and everybody has their rights to think freely and discern for themselves. But he does lay out a lot in this video, so I'm gonna break it down because everything that he says right now is absolutely right, and everybody should really consider everything that he said. And then I'm going to find this other video for you that lays out maybe what we should do in the near future as for humanity, guys. Okay? So, give me a minute. Make sure everything's dialed in. Now, I'm going to stop and go back to his video. I will stop it at points because I do want to talk about some of the things that he's highlighting. Joe Imbriono. And I'll leave his link to his channel. Check him out. Very informative. One that speaks out for humanity on all levels in California. So here we go.
Joe Imbriono, I just want to make sure it looks like we've got an audience already. We are live here. Tonight is election night, November 3rd, 2020. This is your host, Joe, the Fullerton Informer, P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California, 92834. On the web at thefullertoninformer.com, WiFiDangers.com, VaxDangers.com, CellTowerDangers.com, 5GDangers.com, soon to come COVIDDangers.com, and of course, thefullertoninformer.com. I want to wish you all a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I know that a lot of you out there are very anxious about what is going on. Walker, Texas, it's nice to see you. Look forward to some of your music coming out soon. Before I turn the stream on here tonight, I just had a little bit of time to reflect on what a mess we're in. It's not a joke, folks. And no matter what happens tonight, no matter which one of these circus clowns gets installed by the people that control the issuance of our currency, by the people that control the issuance of our money supply, by the people that control the media, the people that control the military, the people that control the medical system, they're going to put their guy in. And it doesn't matter whether it's Trumpy Dumpty or Uncle Joe. And I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, you know, what kind of conservative are you folks? If you haven't figured out, it doesn't matter whether a Democrat or Republican gets into office. You see this? You see this? They're both connected to this, okay? Here's the problem. Most people only see these and they don't see this running it. Both of the political parties are controlled. Both political parties are bought and paid for. What we're given is a Jerry Springer show on steroids, ladies and gentlemen. And as of late, it's really sad. All right. It's a false dichotomy. If you want to go out and vote, if you want to vote no on all the propositions, and if you want to try to find a candidate worth voting for, then, you know, best of luck to you. Okay. In my community, they're all a bunch of phonies. They're all a bunch of sellouts at the local level, the county level. Look, folks, I've been in politics for a very long time, and it's very corrupt. Law enforcement is very corrupt. The judicial system is very corrupt. The legislative branches of government are very corrupt because the American people have become very lazy and corrupt themselves. And that's all by design, ladies and gentlemen.
Everything he just laid out is exactly right. He is so right what he is saying. You're right, Amos. This is all by design. And that's why I've been saying, even though I voted for DT, the thing is that they're both the same. Okay. And, you know, we've got to understand what we're up against because the Rothschilds own us.
You want your free stuff, you're going to get it. But there's going to be a catch, right? If you want your free, your guaranteed basic income, you're going to get your guaranteed basic vaccines every month. If you want to have your government housing, you're going to get the light bulbs they want to screw in there and the electromagnetic frequencies for you to sleep with. You're not going to have a say, all right? What you're going to have a say in is what drive-through to hit with your card, and that's about it. And you can say diet or regular. That's pretty much going to be the extent of your choices if we allow these people to continue to turn this place into the funny farm, because that's what they've done. Just a moment. Let me have a sip of water here. No matter who wins tonight, you're not going to know who's going to win tonight, folks, because they're going to play this thing like a fiddle for quite a while. It's going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. One night they'll say it's up, the next night they'll say it's down. Folks, listen to me. Donald Trump is a Republican. Donald Trump is the Republican candidate for president. Donald Trump owes the bankers of New York and of Rothschild persuasion $4 billion. His largest campaign donor is Sheldon Adelson. Sheldon Adelson spent $250 million on this election. You don't think that guy wants a return on his investment? Now, I don't know how all this is going to play out, but when you spend $250 million influencing election, that's what I call lobbying, okay? That's a lot of money. And that guy gets all his money by bankrupting a bunch of poor people that are addicted to slot machines and blackjack tables. That's really sad. But that's where the money comes from that controls the Republican ticket. All right? Now, let's cross the aisle, shall we? Let's go from red to blue. Let's take a look who controls that aisle. Let's see. The abortionists and the socialists and the communists and the education system and the medical system, right? I mean, that's where the Democratic support comes from, is the baby killers and the debauchery, right? That's where it comes from. So can I ask you a question? Do you think voting for something free is going to get us out of this mess? It's not, okay? What's going to get us out of this mess is you shutting off your television sets. What's going to get us out of this mess is taking responsibility for your own destiny, raising your children. You know, the school district in Fullerton is now feeding breakfast, lunch, and dinner to the children. Do you think it's a good idea to hand over your children to be fed by the government? Do you think it's a good idea to hand your children over to be educated by the government? Do you think it's a good idea to have your children handed over to be vaccinated by the government? Do you think it's a good idea to have your children handed over to be medicated by the government? Do you think it's a good idea to have your children handed over for ownership to the government?
I would hope I know everybody's answer on that. And you got to question the people that don't think opposite, which is many. We have autism from vaccinations ramping through the last 3 generations, 2 generations, 3 generations now because of what they put in vaccinations. Okay, we have Frankenfood, Trump. We have Frankenfood. And you're feeding our children in the schools along with our soldiers this. That's not making America great again. Frankenfood means nanotechnology put in our food supply to change our DNA. that is also sprayed in the sky and put in our water system. Also, Agent Orange type of chemicals, Monsanto, Bayer. These chemicals are dumped in our foods, on our food, and in the food supply, on the crops. And most of most of the farmers have been taken out by our country, who owns the food, and they are supplying us, folks. If you haven't started stocking up on food, you might want to stock up, because that's my main threat that I foresee, is people and having something to eat. So he's going to lay it out what could happen, that our lovely government could pull on us at any time and lock us down again. And these things that he's talking about are very real, along with the death towers outside of your children's schools and outside your neighborhoods, outside the nursing homes that you're putting your family members in, and they're getting microwaved along with the hospitals. Have you looked around? There are death towers everywhere. And neither of those puppets talk about it, because they're part of the problem.
No, that is not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. All right? Let me tell you why. Because every time something comes from your television sets, what's going to get us out of this mess is taking responsibility for your own destiny, raising your children. You know, the school district in Fullerton is now feeding breakfast, lunch, and dinner to the children. Do you think it's a good idea to hand over your children to be fed by the government? Do you think it's a good idea to hand your children over to be educated by the government? Do you think it's a good idea to have your children handed over to be vaccinated by the government? Do you think it's a good idea to have your children handed over to be medicated by the government? Do you think it's a good idea to have your children handed over for ownership to the government? No, that is not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. All right? Let me tell you why. Because every time something comes for free, it's got a big price tag on it, right? Look what they've done to the United States, folks. Look what the media has done to the United States. Look what the media is doing tonight. Are you kidding me? Joe Biden can't even get a sentence out. The guy sounds like one of those MK Ultra reporters from like 10 years ago that started mixing up words. Remember those reporters like 10 years ago that were like making all these incoherent statements and words that didn't exist, like word salad was coming out of their mouth when they were live on television? That's Joe Biden. You watch one with a black mask on telling us it's the battle for the soul of America. Folks, the battle for the soul of America is being waged in the spiritual realm, and it is coming through the black scrying mirror, satanic electronic television, satanic Ouija board called a smart TV every night in your house. Every night you turn on Netflix. Every night you turn on these channels with all this filth coming in. You know, they've been working on this for a long time to take us to the mat. They've bankrupted the United States, folks. The United States is so far in debt, it doesn't matter who gets elected. All right? Like I had said in a previous stream, they've got this country so far down the rabbit hole financially, it's not going to recover. Okay? It doesn't matter who gets in. I know a lot of you out there, oh, but if Joe Biden gets elected, I'm going to get this for free every month. Oh, if Trump gets elected, I'm going to get, the corporate tax break to continue. There's not going to be any tax breaks because there's not going to be any income because your company is going to be shut down. Who gave us the coronavirus lockdowns in the United States? It wasn't the Easter Bunny.
It was T-Man.
Now, can you imagine if Hillary Clinton locked the United States down? Do you know what would have happened if we would have had her in office and they tried to pull this crap? You know what would have happened? There would have been a rebellion. But because we have the cult of personality that is being propped up with this supposed phony left-right paradigm, oh, the media hates Trump. No, they don't. The media gave us Trump. The media gives you his speeches when he makes you laugh.
He's absolutely right. The media gives us, hey, look at this. Donald Trump's dances. They are having you guys focused in, along with these damn rallies. That's why I've been trying to friggin' show it. So when I talk to you guys and we're going back to this, you might, people can do their homework, because not everybody's enlightened when they come to these channels or come on YouTube and they find people like myself who are more of a free thinker and has seen through the blinders that we have genocide going on all levels worldwide. And, you know, this is real, guys. I don't even, my mind is in another state of mind of what's next, because this is apparent that these clowns are being so manipulated by the puppet masters of the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Bilderbergs, those types of names, Pelosi's, you know. So we got real problems, folks, and you might want to listen to what he's saying, because Fox News, and I used to be a big advocate of Fox News because I live in CNN land. You know, I lived and worked across the street from CNN for a long time. Folks, we have Fox News 666. He's about to break it down for you. No joke. Stop watching your television now.
The media gives you all the coverage of his Twitter fallout. The media gives you all the coverage of the coronavirus that he put on us. All right? Listen, folks, you've got to understand, this is a serious mess we're in. Now, I want to tell you something right now. I'm going to make a statement here tonight that that a lot of you may not like. All right? And no, I'm not a Jesuit. I'm an ex-Catholic. I walked away from the Catholic Church and all the satanic, blood-drinking, pedophilic scum that run the Vatican. I got nothing to do with the Isis Horus Semiramis on the communion wafer. Do you understand me? Go to a Catholic church and read the initials of the Egyptian Trinity on the communion wafer and watch the priest take it out of the tabernacle with the sun god inscribed on the thing. I'm out of that place. Stop calling me a Jesuit. All right? I rebuke the Vatican and the Catholic Church, because you know what? They don't have the power over somebody's body when they die, like the priest says, oh, yeah, I commend his spirit to go to heaven. Give me a break. Jesus Christ does. Here's the deal, folks. Today, I should say, Fox News YouTube channel hit 6.66 million subscribers. Do you hear what I just said? The Fox News YouTube channel today just hit 6.66 million subscribers today. Not yesterday, today. That's their number, folks. They put out the calling card. You guys see this? Can you see that? Well, might as well just, that's our sponsor. Now,
Like he said, those are our sponsors. Okay, guys, I always say, go back and research these agencies and their programs like Project Paperclip. You might want to research that Project Monarch, Project Looking Glass, because we have, like he said, we have these Ouija boards, and we're all using them. I'm on one right now. This is all mind control, guys. It's part of their black magic.
NASA666.com, right? Folks, yeah, I've got a screenshot of Fox News hitting 6.66 million subscribers today. Let me tell you why that's significant, folks, because that is a bad number. And it just so happened that it hit it on election day. And the last time I saw that number, it was about 19 years ago, when the billboards for the mortgage rates were at 6.66%, right? I'm driving in Orange County, and the billboards were all at 6.66% for the interest rates. And you know what happened after that happened? Kaboom! 9/11! 2 weeks later. The last time I saw 666 on a billboard for an interest rate, 2 weeks later, we had that event take place.
Okay, do you hear that? We had that event take place. I was very young, and I worked in a service and food industry where I seen the bottom drop. And I also worked in an industry that I was where it was entertainment. And I had bartending jobs and flyering for concerts at all these venues in Atlanta. That was what I was doing. I was like 20 for, I don't know, I was, young, in my early 20s, and I could do the math, but not right now. I want to lose my train of thought. The thing is that I seen the bottom drop. That's what's about to happen right now with 9/11 happening. The same thing. This is their part of their gematria. This is part of their black magic. They've showed us with Biden, text Biden 3303. Divide that by 666. Okay? This is no joke. We are in deep shit. And I hope everybody's really prepared because they're about to fucking throw down on us. I have a feeling that what he's pointing out and the signs are there that the lockdowns in the UK, in Australia, we are about to hit the dark winter like Joe Biden told us. They're both part of the same bowl, two horns from the same Baphomet.
They put that number out today, folks. For those of you who love Fox News, for those of you who actually, for those of you who actually believe Fox News is telling you the truth, I got a lollipop that cures cancer. Would you like to buy it? I'll sell it to you for $1 million. Seriously, folks, wake up. I got a marshmallow that'll make you lose weight. You want to buy it? I got a car that gets 100,000 miles to the gallon, and then it's got a 454 engine, and it's 50 feet long. You want to buy it?
This is what he's saying is we're about to see people liquidating. We're about to see our friggin' whole economy go down, and then they're going to give us this universal income lockdown, and you're going to have the attachments attached to it. So that's what's coming down the pipeline. That's what I was trying to say. I live to watch my city, my country turn in an instance. The economy bottom dropped out for 4 years. Okay. It was unbelievable from the Clinton years to the Bush era. Unbelievable. And this is what's about to happen, folks. So please prepare yourself in every way. I'm not trying to say anything, but I'm not trying to say I know anything, but the signs are in front of us. The signs are right here. And he's laying them out, and we all see them. So many are ignoring them? And then we got to go forward, and we got to defeat the evil, which we can all do if we all listen to many others and all of us in a collective consciousness to stop the evil working within us.
Give me a break, folks. This is a total setup. It's in your face, satanic ritual, Masonic garbage going on. Okay? It's exactly what's going on right now. The bankers are taking the United States down, folks. They're going to Bolshevik the United States. Do your homework on the Bolshevik Revolution. Do your homework on the Spanish flu outbreak in 1918. It wasn't caused by a virus. It was an electromagnetic event combined with vaccinations and a bunch of media hype giving a bunch of credence to numbers that weren't real. You've got to do your homework. History is repeating itself. Up to 100 million people were murdered during the Bolshevik Revolution through starvation and bullets. Where do you live? What city do you live in? Are there any avocado trees in your Central Park? If you're in New York, have you been to Central Park? Have they got any orange trees there? They got any chickens running around? Hey, where are you going to get food if they decide to roll the Sunrise Movement, shut all the interstates down, and freeze the trucks? I got a text tonight that the Sunrise Movement is getting ready to go, and that's one of those operations where they're going to lay siege to cities, to where they'll block interstates and traffic and trucking lanes and literally shut down metropolitan areas. So you better enjoy your ribeye tonight if you get your hands on it, because maybe you won't be able to get your hands on it in a couple of weeks. I don't know. All I know is that, look, folks, it doesn't matter which one of these guys get in. When you look at the money behind the left and you look at the money behind the right, and when you look at what happens, no matter who gets elected, we end up with more wars, more inflation. Nobody does anything about the Federal Reserve. Nobody does anything about the private central bank that's got a stranglehold on the United States, that is putting us more and more into debt, more and more into receivership. Donald Trump's never done anything with the Federal Reserve except hand the Treasury over to it. Okay? You think I'm bashing the guy? You think I like what he's done to this country? He's bankrupted the United States. What's Biden going to do? He's going to bankrupt it too if he gets in. He's going to give all this money away to everybody, give everybody free health insurance, and take away all of your rights to defend yourself. I mean, he's pretty much said the guy he's going to put in charge of the gun the whole gun thing is he's going to come for your guns. Okay, so but then again, so does Trump. Trump says, hey, take the guns now, ask questions later. Those were his words. It doesn't matter which one of these guys gets in. You've got to get your spiritual house in order. And I got to be honest with you, folks. You cannot watch television and watch these movies and listen to this music and serve Jesus Christ. You can't. Okay? You simply can't. There's just too many naked women. There's too much booze. There's too much dope. There's too much filth and murder and shooting and cheating and creepy crap, all in witchcraft and sorcery and spell casting and necromancy and incantations and pedophilia and all kinds of things in the movies, in the music. You cannot see. Your eyes will be blinded by the prince of the power of the air, by the spirit of the sons of disobedience, by the devil himself that comes through that television, that is run by the deniers of Jesus Christ. Make your decision today. You either stand tall with the risen Savior or you're going to stand with the sons of Cain. And let me tell you something. The latter is a losing proposition from an eternal perspective. I'm warning all of you today. It is time to relinquish your addiction to the filth, your addiction to the lies, your addiction to the nonsense, your addiction to the deception, your addiction to the destruction. Because everything that you've been told in school, everything that you've been told in church, everything you've been told from your parents, everything that you've been told by your neighbors, everything you've been told by the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Cub Scouts, the Webelos, the Demolays, whatever Masonic organization that you were raised in or church that you were raised in. Some of these places got Baphomets carved up on the stage door. Some of them got them in their symbols. For crying out loud, look at the Boy Scout logo. Folks, you've got to question everything you've been taught because you've been lied to. There is no way on God's green earth that you should be accepting what's happened to this country right now. There's no way on God's green earth that you should be accepting what's being done to the economies of this world. People are being murdered by starvation, by economic collapse. You are not hearing about what's going on in other countries right now, where people are starving to death, where people are being killed, where people are being murdered by their governments, where people are being locked up, having their doors welded shut. People are being destroyed for what and by whom? And what is the goal? What is the agenda? You know, when I was a young man, I used to think, oh, if I could just get that sports car, you know, if I could just have, if I remember this guy, he used to advertise on television. I'm going to date myself here, but his name was Carlton Sheets, and he used to have these infomercials, and it would show this guy kicking it on the bow of this speedboat with a girl on each side of him, showing people how to get rich in real estate, right? Oh, when I was laying on the beach as a teenager, oh, I wish I had. No, folks, you don't wish you had none of that because it's fleeting, it doesn't last, and nobody really gets it. Everybody know that chase money has lost their health and lost their minds. Chase righteousness. Fight for what is true and tell others the truth. Don't sit here and let the liars turn you into a lollipop, folks, so they can suck the fear and the perversion out of you and feed that luge to their demon masters, because that's what's going on. And look, you don't have to sit here and tell me, Joe, you know, you're not solving anything. You're not doing any good. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You know, no, he's not. Trump's not a hero, folks. If Donald Trump has been put into a position to bankrupt the United States, and to be honest with you, he's very good at bankrupting things, because how many times has he filed himself? I've never filed for bankruptcy. Yeah, I don't go borrow people's money and not pay them back and then have them say, hey, we're going to bail you out, but you're going to do what you're told. How many times has he done that? To the tune of $4 billion. You like his policies because you can afford a $3,000 bottle of scotch because your corporation got a tax cut. Look where you're at now. You got your $5,000 bottle under the bar and you're locked in your house with your mask on. Are you having a nice time with your tax cut? I hope you are, because it's going to get a heck of a lot worse. Because let me tell you something. It doesn't matter whether you're worth $10 or $100 million right now. You're in the same breadline. You can't go anywhere. They're going to stick that thing on your forehead, and they're going to stick that thing up your nose, and they're going to stick something up your backside if you don't wake up. It doesn't matter who gets in. What matters is if you break out of the trap that they have set for you, the traps they've set for your mind, the financial traps they've set for you. And by the way, Canada right now is trying to get people to sign on to debt forgiveness as long as they agree to not own any property. Folks, I don't know about you, but it's not a good idea not to have a place to live that you can call your own. Because when you're forced into like these apartments that they're building everywhere, they control what's in the air that you breathe. They control what's in the water that comes in through the wall. They control the frequencies coming out of the access points for you to get your internet. And they control the lighting that they stick in the ceiling above you. And they can do whatever they want to you once they get you in the cage. Because that's what it's all about. You like being in a cage? Oh, you like your Pavlovian existence where you push a button and they hand you the Hot Pocket? Oh, really? You push a button and it's like in Black Mirror. You know, you just, oh, tonight I'll watch this and tonight I'll eat that. Oh, if I don't feel good, I'll go get a pill. And before you know it, you end up with a tube down your throat and they put the COVID tag in the back door. Out you go in the black bag. Family can't see what's in the Ziploc sack because you're contagious. Folks, wake up. Seriously. You all need to wake up. Donald Trump is not going to save the United States. Let me tell you something. When Fox News hit 6.66 million subscribers, and Fox News, by and large, has been Donald Trump's advocate in the United States. You know, who's this guy? Smucker Carlson? Who's that funny looking dude that's always got that funny looking smirk on his face? Like, you know, he just got he spent 20 weeks next to a Wi-Fi router, and he's always kind of like, right? Apparently he mailed Biden's computer or something. Folks, I don't know. I haven't watched television for 20 something years, but can somebody tell me what this Smucker Carlson guy did that sent something in the mail and they lost it or something? I mean, this is the conservative. Let me tell you something, folks. I've got a book on U.S. government that was written in the 50s, and it's about 1,000 pages. And I go through this with my children, and they understand the branches of government and the three branches of power and the checks and balances and the Bill of Rights and the extra ones that didn't get ratified at the end, and that's why they're taking money out of your paycheck. I talk about this stuff with people, right? You know, the average person, all they care about is their union pension. All they care about is, you know, the free lunch. All they care about is who's going to watch my child after school, you know, so they can go get their nails done. Folks, I have seen the spectrum. I've run the gamut with people. And let me tell you something. You are all going to get what you deserve unless you snap out of this. Okay. And like I said earlier in another video, what's sad is your children are going to get what they don't deserve because you didn't do what you should have done to protect them. I've talked for years about all the stuff that's being.
All right. That's exactly, you need to snap the hell out of it. And this is made for one person in my life that might watch this video. You need to snap the hell out of it because you're people, we're going from one cage to another. Okay. And they're about to fucking clamp down on our asses. You watch. Let me just replay this last little part that he said. I'm going to continue the video.
Care about is, you know, the free lunch. All they care about is who's going to watch my child after school. You know, so they can go get their nails done. Folks, I have seen the spectrum. I run the gamut with people. And let me tell you something. You are all going to get what you deserve unless you snap out of this. Okay. And like I said earlier in another video, what's sad is your children are going to get what they don't deserve because you didn't do what you should have done to protect them. I've talked for years about all the stuff that's being done to us. And whether you voted tonight for the guy on the left or the guy on the right, or if you wrote me in on the ballot, it's not going to matter. Because at the end of the day, we still have a Federal Reserve that prints money out of thin air, that loans it at interest to the government. The government loans it at interest to banks. The banks loan it at interest to other banks. Those banks loan it at interest to the loan shark banks on the corners, these cash places. And then you borrow it. And so they've taken I was at Costco, and for $30 you can get like 20,000 sheets of paper, right? Can you imagine if I had the Federal Reserve's printing press? I could take a $33 box of paper, and I'm being Masonic here by design, and build the trade towers with it, which was a Masonic construction. Folks, that's the power of the printing press of the Federal Reserve. And they've got all of us enslaved to a banking system and a debt-based currency that services the debt on that with our taxes. And in return, they've collateralized all of us. We're all registered with the Department of Commerce. We're chattel property of the corporation, folks. Now, your teachers aren't going to tell you this because, they're too busy hanging the Rush poster in the math class and waiting for the summer vacation so they can go eat bacon in Europe. Well, guess what? They can't leave their Wi-Fi prison in the summertime now. So they got to stay home. And, the purse collection that, you ladies at the school district, the cheap Mercedes that you leased, and the shoe collection that, you guys are all giggling about at the school board meetings as you electrocute the kids with your technology programs. You got nobody to show them off to because you're walking around with a diaper on your face. And now you put plexiglass in front of all the children, and the room smells like a bunch of bathroom disinfectant all day long. Welcome to what Donald Trump has given the American people. You don't like my criticism? Betty Crocker and Ellen DeGeneres are making chocolate cake out of Michelin tires and Bic pen ink and high fructose corn syrup on channel 666 right now. You can tune in there. I think it's on Viasat or what are these other alternative media platforms where you can watch people, take your thyroid down to the 15th floor below the basement as the whole world continues to spin out of control with insanity and lies. How much of this are you going to put up with? How much of this are you going to... Why don't you go to your pastors and ask him for all the money that you gave him back? Because he shut down. Jesus wasn't Lord. COVID was Lord. Does your pastor realize that COVID is Lord? Of course he does. That's why he closed the church. That's why he's got you all wearing masks. And the ones that are open are controlled by the same people that are controlling the media, because they're going to fake an outbreak and blame the Christians for bringing the thing back. You watch. That's what they're doing with the Calvary chapels. They're setting up the Calvary chapels. You go to a Calvary chapel and the staff's all got masks on, but you could walk into these Calvary chapels with no masks on. And the guys are up there singing with no masks on, and the pastor's up there with no mask on. He's not telling you that the virus is fake. He's up there telling you that the rapture's coming, that, donate on your cell phone, and the third temple's coming. But he ain't telling you that the government's going to come, because they are, and he don't want you to know that. He wants you to be caught off guard, think Jesus is going to come back next week, and everything's going to be hunky-dory. And let me ask you a question. If Jesus is coming back next week, then how come they don't give back all the money that they've got taken from everybody? Can I go to one of these churches and get a couple $100,000 so I can go get a boat and a couple of girls and go take a cruise? No, it doesn't work that way. Jesus is coming back any minute, but they need your money. Give me a break. Stop falling for all this crap.
Ask for a
Think about
refund.
this, folks. If there's supposedly some crazy virus out there, we're being told that by Trump, and Trump always injects us. And I'll talk about Biden in a second, but Trump always says, he always makes sure he points out that it came from China, right? That the virus came from China. Trump always talks about how there's a virus and it came from China. And it was from animals, and it got into a lab, and then it got into people. Well,
wake up. Really? Did you just hear how he laid it out? What we're being told is on a friggin'. This is on this is on a level that they get away with, that they actually act like we're children. Do you hear this? If all the animals aren't sick and this virus is real, we wouldn't have money because it'd be all over it. The animals would be dropping dead in droves, and not from frequencies, but from some virus. And this is a bunch of horse shit. This is created because we're about to go to war. And they're creating us with the conflict of China. This is propaganda, folks.
How come in the United States, if there's some sort of virus that warranted shutting down the whole world, destroying, 100 years of economic progress, and eviscerating any chance of any hope for economic recovery anywhere in the world right now, How come your dog's still alive? Your cat's still alive? You don't see dead rats everywhere. You don't see dead cats everywhere. You don't see dead birds everywhere. How come you don't see dead roaches? How come you don't see dead flies? How come you don't see dead squirrels? How come you don't see dead crows? How come you don't see dead coyotes? I mean, the coyotes are doing. I hear coyotes in my neighborhood at night, 2, 3 in the morning. I never heard them. They're making babies. They're out eating the cats. They're not. They're not wearing masks. You know, they're digging in people's trash cans. You think they're sanitizing the garbage in the cans? The coyotes. How come they're not dying? I thought the rats gave it to the bats, and then no, folks, your face diaper. Jesus. And the guys are up there singing with no mask on, and the pastor's up there with no mask on. In the United States, they have a special problem. The American people are armed, so we get the special frequencies here. Trump always injects us, and I'll talk about construction. Folks, that's the power of the printing press of the
Sorry,
Federal Reserve.
guys.
And
I
they've
got
got all
screwed
of
up
us
there.
enslaved to a banking system and a debt-based currency that services the debt on that with our taxes. And in return,
Okay.
they've collateralized all of us. We're all registered with the Department of Commerce. We're chattel property of the corporation, folks. Now, your
Sorry.
teachers aren't going to tell you this because, you know, they're too busy hanging the Rush poster in the math class and waiting for the summer vacation so they can go eat bacon in Europe. Well, guess what? They can't leave their Wi-Fi prison in the summertime now. So they got to stay home. And, you know, the purse collection that, you know, you ladies at the school district, the cheap Mercedes that you leased and the shoe collection that, you know, you guys are all giggling about.
Hey, I'm sorry about that. I hit the wrong button and it went all the way back to the video, but I want to stop it at this part of the video and I'll try to find where we were at. He's right. Biden simply said, and we've showed the video, that, hey, not a lot of teachers are going to die. Hey, from this virus, not a lot of them are going to die. You know, only some. Okay? Because they're going to put us in a Wi-Fi prison on lockdown, which is the death towers, the frequencies, folks. That's what I've been screaming about. And I got a video after this video of the one outside my neighborhood next to an elementary school that I would have sent my child to, but hell no, I didn't do that. My children to, hell no. And they have a death tower right outside, beaming down at that school, and nice neighborhood, but we have friends that live there. And we have also the polling area that I went to yesterday, the polling booth, which happens to be in a church, which has private schooling, being Wi-Fi. Now, this is not just in my area. I have death towers everywhere. You might want to pull the map up and see how many towers are near you. Cell towers. So then antennas is another story, and that blows your mind. Okay, then we have everybody's Wi-Fi, and it goes on and down, and it's a trickle effect. The thing is that they're using these things to control us at 60 gigahertz, and that takes away our oxygen levels. Okay, and it does more than that. It rattles your brain. It rattles your brain, and it does frequencies. Makes people erratic. Makes them very violent. And this is all intentional. Then they're going to lock down, like they are in Europe and everywhere else, and they're going to turn up the frequencies, and people are going to drop, just like it happened in China, where that 5G rolled out first, and then you know, I didn't show the videos for nothing, and they left my videos up here, because they are using it as propaganda, because we are about to go to war, folks. This is my opinion.
So they can triangulate it onto where your air think all this, if he was here. He talks about how there's a virus and it came from China. And it was from animals and it got into a lab and then it got into people. Well, how come in the United States, if there's some sort of virus that warranted shutting down the whole world, destroying, 100 years of economic progress and eviscerating any chance of any hope for economic recovery anywhere in the world right now, how come your dog's still alive, your cat's still alive, you don't see dead rats everywhere, you don't see dead cats everywhere, you don't see dead birds everywhere? How come you don't see dead roaches? How come you don't see dead flies? How come you don't see dead squirrels? How come you don't see dead crows? How come you don't see dead coyotes? I mean, the coyotes are doing, I hear coyotes in my neighborhood at night, 2, 3 in the morning. I never heard them. They're making babies. They're out eating the cats. They're not wearing masks. You know, they're digging in people's trash cans. You think they're sanitizing the garbage in the cans the coyotes are eating? How come they're not dying? I thought the rats gave it to the bats, and then no, folks, your face diaper. You know, I wonder. I wonder what Jesus would think of all this if he was here. Can I give you a little hint what Jesus would think of all this? He'd say, "You fools of little faith, you don't believe in the power of my Father who put 75,000 miles of circulatory system into your body to fight off an infection. And no, I didn't make your body so parts come oozing out of your pores when you're not feeling good. I didn't make your body excreting extra parts. There's no such thing as exosomes, Dr. Kaufman. There is no such thing as exosomes, Dr. Cowan. Stop spinning the truth and putting out lies and confusing people." Might as well tell you the truth, folks. 5G is a kill grid. That's why they're putting it in everywhere. That's why the towers have gone up everywhere. And in the United States, they have a special problem. The American people are armed. So we get the special frequencies here. And to those of you out there who like to make comments about how I don't know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm talking about. That's why you talk about me, trying to tell everybody I don't know what I'm talking about. Because let me tell you something, if I was wrong, you wouldn't be worried about what I was saying, and you wouldn't be making points to try to discredit the fact that 60 gigahertz is a directed energy weapon. It's the oxygen molecule frequency. And they're going to use that for the home Wi-Fi. And they're going to use that in the metropolitan areas. And I might as well tell you, that's why there's plexiglass everywhere, so they can beamform and bounce the 60 gigahertz oxygen depriving frequencies off of the plexiglass, so they can triangulate it onto where your AirPods are. That puts a little circle over your face so they can lock onto you and take your breath away. That's right, folks. I can't breathe. Let me tell you what the theme of this election is. We're going to breathe, and we're going to say no matter who gets elected and who ends up in that building on Pennsylvania Avenue. Because here's the reason why I can say this. Because Madison Avenue doesn't control the hearts and minds of the born-again believers in Jesus Christ. And there's millions of us, and we're waking up to the scam. You guys tried to feed me and all of my brothers and sisters in Christ all this rapture nonsense, all this pre-tribulation, premillennial dispensationalist, eschatological trash. Your manipulation of the Bible to fit this phony geopolitical narrative so you can get away with these plans to destroy the world. Well, guess what? It's not going to work this time. You want to know why? Because liars are losers, and liars and losers always lose.
I have to agree on everything he just said. Liars and losers always lose. And I personally have been speaking out on all these things that he's been talking about. And mainly in this last minute, I'm going to go back and play it. You can check out my other channel. And that's why I keep up my videos. And that's why I talk about it. Because I live in a major city that these frequencies were rolled out in. And I had them in my bedroom with the cable company that is really toxic, that you guys pay a lot of money, like I did for years, to have these 60 gigahertz in my bedroom, burning my body, burning my legs, creating things that I've already talked about. And you can refer to some of my other videos, or we can talk about it another time. But these things are massive migraines. You could have miscarriages. You can have eye damage. These frequencies, headaches, abnormal sleeping patterns, burning, skin rashes. It's endless. Okay? It makes you sick. It makes you weak. You can't walk. It's like walking up a pair of stairs is like working out like for 45 minutes on a treadmill. That's what these frequencies do to your body, folks. Okay? So, this is the truth. And if you don't like it, leave. Because I really don't care. I've been attacked, like he said. If I, you know, you want to attack me, you better look in the mirror.
Tribulation, premillennial dispensationalist, eschatological trash. your manipulation of the Bible to fit this phony geopolitical narrative so you can get away with these plans to destroy the world. Well, guess what? It's not going to work this time. You want to know why? Because liars are losers, and liars and losers always lose. And the one who paid
Liars and losers always lose. And I've seen it so many times in my personal life that people who are like that, it's called karma. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's just not going to work for them. We know that. And I just want to go back right here where I was talking about the them attacking us with frequencies.
we're going to breathe.
I can't breathe. I've called that. That's their that was the that is the evil ones that told us with their symbolism of the starting of all the protests and the race baiting. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Is their friggin' telling us what they're doing to us at the same time with these frequencies. I can't breathe.
I know what I'm talking about.
Along with
That's
the
why you talk
chemtrails.
about me trying to tell everybody I don't know what I'm talking about. Because let me tell you something. If I was wrong, you wouldn't be worried about what I was saying, and you wouldn't be making points to try to discredit the facts that 60 gigahertz is a directed energy weapon. It's the oxygen molecule frequency. And they're going to use that for the home Wi-Fi. And they're going to use that in the metropolitan areas. And I might as well tell you, that's why there's plexiglass everywhere, so they can beamform and bounce the 60 gigahertz oxygen depriving frequencies off of the plexiglass.
Bouncing it off the plexiglass and doing lots and collecting your biometrics and all kinds of data and hitting you with these frequencies, folks. Don't have your children and yourself be beamed by a thermometer on the forehead. That's your pineal gland. They're damaging you. They're damaging your children. Don't let them do it. Tell them to do it on the arm, the forearm. Just very effective. They should not be doing that on top of any of this. This is direct genocide. The masks keep you sick, okay? The masks are keeping us sick. Why? Because you're breathing in what's sprayed on us is chemtrails. Have you looked up? Do you notice? Maybe check out some of my Skywatchers videos. I've put down hundreds of videos of people recording chemtrails around the world, and those are not clouds, folks. That is biochemical warfare. It started in Vietnam, and they've done it to multiple. They've done it to our troops in a base in Florida in the 60s. They've done it to people in Oregon with lithium. They test. We are rats. We're lab rats. Okay, so here we go.
So they can triangulate it onto where your AirPods are. It puts a little circle over your face so they can lock onto you and take your breath away. That's right, folks. I can't breathe. Let me tell you what the theme of this election is. We're going to breathe. And we're going to say no matter who gets elected and who ends up in that building on Pennsylvania Avenue. Because here's the reason why I can say this. Because Madison Avenue doesn't control the hearts and minds of the born-again believers in Jesus Christ. And there's millions of us, and we're waking up to the scam. You guys tried to feed me and all of my brothers and sisters in Christ, all this rapture nonsense, all this pre-tribulation, premillennial dispensationalist, eschatological trash. Your manipulation of the Bible to fit this phony geopolitical narrative so you can get away with these plans to destroy the world. Well, guess what? It's not going to work this time. You want to know why? Because liars are losers, and liars and losers always lose. And the one who paid it all, the one who was in the beginning and shall be at the end, is here with us right now. And he has given everyone out their eyes to see, who's willing to open them. If you are just willing to shut off the satanic mind control coming through the television, coming through the networks, coming through the movie studios, coming through the record production companies, coming through the music production companies, coming through the publishing houses, coming through the halls of academia, coming through the halls of the medical establishment, coming through the government propaganda outlets, and all of these healthcare agencies out there that all have one thing in common, folks. They're working to subvert humanity and to decimate humanity and to cull humanity so these people can go have these Epstein orgies in private with hundreds of millions of acres wide open with nobody coming after them. That is the age-old dream of these satanic pedophiles, is to get rid of all of us and just have enough people left for sex slaves, manual labor, and body parts. Why do you think they're moving on us like they are? You think tonight is going to change anything? No. You see what's behind me, folks? This is a track. It's very symbolic. You know why I keep this picture up here? Because no matter what they show you on the television, the train keeps rolling down this track. And you want to know the only way we can stop that train from rolling down that track? Is if we take the illusion and shut it off. Folks, you need to understand that everything that they're telling you is a lie. Everything, 99% of what you've been taught isn't true. 99% of the history isn't true. Most of the science isn't true. Most of the math is all theoretical. Most of the physics is all theoretical. The things you've been taught, very, very basic premises and principles. By the way, can you guys see this? Maybe I should put this up behind me. How's that? Maybe it's a little better. How's that? You see that? Every government that has a space program's in on it. Every government that signed the Antarctic Treaty is in on it. Every government that gives you the green screen footage of the spinning ball is in on it. And let me tell you their plan, folks. Since I've got you here, yeah, 666 Park Avenue is where Jared Kushner's company is making the New World Order RFID implants. Folks, look, I mean, Lucent Technologies was on 666 in New York. I mean, folks, these guys are out in the open. Fox News, 6.66 million. That's changed. You know, you look at, go to this website, NASA666.com. Folks, here's the deal. They're going to fake an alien invasion or an asteroid impact that's going to give us some fake alien virus, and they're going to turn on the towers. They're going to turn on these home Wi-Fi systems. They're going to turn on these weaponized systems they're putting in. And they're going to kill people with this stuff and blame it on some fake virus. And they're going to make you keep taking vaccines and make you take medications and make you wear these masks and cut off the food supply and starve people to death and say, we got to do this to control the alien invasion virus. You turn on Chupacabra Chuck, what's his name? That George Nori guy, you know, I mean, on the coast to coast. And every night it's alien abductions or aliens or this or alien that, you know. And you got these controlled opposition agents on YouTube talking about space and, you know, all this asteroids. And folks, you got to understand something, okay? Everything that you've been taught, they've blurred the lines between science fiction and reality, all right? I did a video yesterday. I was at Costco. They've got a Bluetooth alarm clock that has a UVC component that puts out ozone and reactive oxygen species to breathe on your nightstand, that puts out Wi-Fi in your nightstand. And it had a picture of a baby chewing on a cell phone, and it talks about living healthy. Folks, if you can't see right now that they're taking us down, if you can't look around, it's your relatives that are wearing their masks, you know, staring at a television, counting their pill prescriptions. Folks, if you can't tell what they're doing to the children with this curriculum, if you can't tell what they're doing to these, the child abuse that's going on in the schools with these masks and this plexiglass and this high-powered Wi-Fi systems that they've weaponized, that they could paralyze you with, that they could take your breath away with, folks, they've got this whole thing set up. It doesn't matter who wins tonight. You want to know why? Because both of these guys, look at me, left or right, it's connected to the same body and the same brain. All right. And by the way, Joe Embriano's brain controls his right arm. and Joe Briano's brain controls his left arm. And guess what? Don't mess with Joe Briano, all right? Because you know why? You mess with me, you mess with America, you mess with humanity, you mess with children, we're going to come after you. Because there's way more of us than you. And that's why you're so afraid of us. And you've got to track and trace all of our communications. You got to monitor all our emails. You got to sit here and have all these fusion centers built with all these perverted pedophilic cops that are, the Stingray programs where they're reading all the cell phones and all the computer hard drives. And you got all these data centers 20 stories below the ground in the Nevada desert, the size of football fields full of computers recording every keystroke. You know why? Because you're afraid of us. And you got to monitor everybody because you can't freaking sleep at night. You want to know why? Because the Spirit of the Lord is not in you. The spirit of the devil is in you. You live according to the spirit of fear. You live according to the spirit of disobedience. And your conscience will haunt you until you are thrown into the lake of fire. And at that point, there ain't no turning back. When you're thrown into the pit, there's a great gulf that separates you from paradise. And guess what? You do some homework on what happened with Lazarus. And he got to go and be comforted in paradise. And the rich man that was screwing him over and pigging out and not sharing nothing and not trying to help anybody, just stuffing his face, where Lazarus, dying, suffering with all the sores on his body, would just, he wished he could just have the scraps that was falling off this fat pig's table, right? And Lazarus, for years and years and years, suffered at the gate of this rich man's palace, just desiring the morsels that fell on the ground. The wicked, evil, selfish, vile filth that run this world and enslave and abuse humanity, they get to suffer. And from afar, they get to watch us party. That's the glimpse of heaven that was given to us by Jesus Christ. The wicked will forever remember and wish that they never did what they did. From paradise. And guess what? You do some homework on what happened with Lazarus. And he got to go, those perverted pedophilic cops that are, the Stingray programs where they're reading all the cell phones and all the computers they paralyze you with, that they could take your breath away with. Folks, they've got this whole thing set up. It doesn't matter who wins tonight. You want to know why? Because both of these guys, look at me. Left or right, it's connected to the same body and the same brain. All right? And by the way, Joe Briano's brain controls his right arm, and Joe Briano's brain controls his left arm. And guess what? Don't mess with Joe Briano, all right? Because you know why? You mess with me, you mess with America, you mess with humanity, you mess with children, we're going to come after you.
We're going to come after you like we are, and they are afraid of it. That's why they have all these agencies targeting us through all our devices and with frequencies, folks. And I'm just here to share it because this is a truth. This is his opinion, his research. I have mine and many of us. But we do have disinformant agents on this platform working amongst us to point you in other directions. Well, these people like NASA 666, Fox News and all them, these big cults that have all these big extravagant orgy parties on lands, like he said, that want to live their life, and while we suffer, okay? That's the facts, folks. So I don't even know what to say anymore because he's laid out so much, and I want to stop it so many times with him. My computer won't let me. So I'm doing the best I can. And Edward, thank you for the kind words. We're all fucking awesome to be on my channel and actually listening to people for humanity, because that's what they don't want. You see in these videos, I'm very not liked because they bury my videos like this, okay? And I don't pump these videos out because I'm trying to bring them in, because then I get attacked through my computers, phone, you name it, because of these things that, let me show you. This is a video I took yesterday. See that death tower right there? Let me back it up. Hold on. Let me blow up my screen. I'll finish this video, but I do want to show you this death tower. This is outside my neighborhood, and they were working on it yesterday. And boy, was I pissed because I just got done voting. All right, guys, I just got done voting. You see that death tower right there? They got a crane on it. This is outside my neighborhood right here. This death tower. That needs to go. That's a 5G death tower of death. Look at that. They're working on it. They got a crane up there. Look at that. They're adding on. Those son of a bitches, man. This is outside my damn neighborhood. What the hell? I want to know what the hell are they doing with a damn tower and a crane outside my neighborhood. I know that was bad, but hold on. Look at that, man. Look at that crane, baby. Look at that. Look at that. What the hell are they doing? Getting ready to microwave our ass, guys. Look at that, guys. You see this? They're getting ready to friggin' unload on us. I wonder what they're doing. You better friggin' buy a lot of tinfoil. And I don't know, if you can, paint your friggin' house, barricade your friggin' roof. I feel like going and asking them, what the hell are they doing? Did you see that, guys? They're fucking working on that tower, man. They're working on that tower. Pissed me off, man. To no end. It pisses me off because that is next to an elementary school. That is next to another church Christian school. That's next to a nice neighborhood, many nice neighborhoods, and my neighborhood, and another church with a private school. And then there's many next to the grocery store and the hospital, and all around, guys, the damn park that I go to. It's right against the soccer fields and, you know, the baseball fields. This is insane, and they're about to unload on us, and that's why I'm showing that, because I'm going to upload that to my other channel, Maddie and Mystic Skywatcher, and show you that was happening yesterday. You better pay attention to your towers because they're doing upgrades. They're about to lay down on us. Beware.
Because there's way more of us than you. And that's why you're so afraid of us. And you've got to track and trace all of our communications. You've got to monitor all our emails. You got to sit here and have all these fusion centers built with all these perverted pedophilic cops that are, you know, the Stingray programs where they're reading all the cell phones and all the computer hard drives. And you got all these data centers 20 stories below the ground in the Nevada desert, the size of football fields, full of computers recording every keystroke. You know why? Because you're afraid of us. And you got to monitor everybody because you can't freaking sleep at night. You want to know why? Because the Spirit of the Lord is not in you. The spirit of the devil is in you. You live according to the spirit of fear. You live according to the spirit of disobedience. And your conscience will haunt you until you are thrown into the lake of fire. And at that point, there ain't no turning back. When you're thrown into the pit, there's a great gulf that separates you from paradise. And guess what? You do some homework on what happened with Lazarus. And he got to go and be comforted in paradise. And the rich man that was screwing him over and pigging out and not sharing nothing and not trying to help anybody, just stuffing his face, where Lazarus, dying, suffering with all the sores on his body, would just, he wished he could just have the scraps that was falling off this fat pig's table, right? And Lazarus, for years and years and years, suffered at the gate of this rich man's palace, just desiring the morsels that fell on the ground. The wicked, evil, selfish, vile filth that run this world and enslave and abuse humanity, they get to suffer. And from afar, they get to watch us party. That's the glimpse of heaven that was given to us by Jesus Christ. The wicked will forever remember and wish that they never did what they did. But only when it's too late will that realization come to them. Ladies and gentlemen, give your life over to the one who paid it all. Do not follow into all this vampirism and satanic, Masonic, occultic, Luciferian lying. All this glamorization of filth and evil that's on the television. Okay? It is absolutely absurd to think that here we are this far down the rabbit hole, and the stuff on the television is getting so out of control that people cannot see what is being done to them. I, in the name of Jesus Christ, ask that not me, but the Lord rebuke these demonic entities that run these movie studios. Oh, you guys think, oh, you can make your billions of dollars and have all these big buildings and make your snuff films and you live to be 90. Guess what? You're going into the dirt, and you're going to go into the lake of fire. You're going to go into the pit. I don't know how long you're going to be there for. It could be for an instant. It could be for an eternity. I'm not sure. Either way, that's a bet I ain't willing to make. Okay. I'm going to hang my hat and solidify where my soul's going to go. And I'm going to hitch my wagon to Jesus Christ. You want to know why? Because he's the one they hate the most. He's the one that they do everything they can to make sure that they mock and humiliate and make sure that they corrupt and pervert and mess up his message. They hire these hitmen in the pulpits to pervert the minds of the Christians and water down the doctrine so they're a bunch of chickens and cowards and clowns. So they go home from church and watch television, right? Like this circus clown over at this big church in Anaheim making jokes about the Super Bowl. And, in the halftime show was a satanic worship service. Yeah, you know who you are, Gene Apple. You know who you are, Eastside Christian Church. Look up the video I did on the Super Bowl halftime show, and the people at the Eastside Christian Church worshiping this pastor guy. Folks, this is what I'm talking about. You can't rely on the churches. You can't rely on the schools. Look at who works at the school district. I've spent enough time around teachers, and I hear the trash trucks that come up the street, and their recycle trash can is full of bottles. Okay. And it ain't the soda bottles, folks. Okay. There's a reason why a lot of these teachers are alcoholics, because they can't live with themselves for what they're doing to these children. Okay. It's okay. Repent of it. Walk away from it. Or get involved and do the right thing and defend the children and tell the truth. When you sit here and tell children, how evil this was or how evil that was, because it's in the Constitution, or how bad that is because, Johnny's married to Jill and that's evil, because, folks, the subversion needs to stop. And everything starts and stops with you. If you don't want to make a difference, your children are going to pay the price for your lack of involvement. Some of you are already having your children already pay the price because you failed to protect them from the very things that you promote. I'm not going to name names here tonight because I've gone long and wide on this. But you know who you people are. And you have two choices. You can continue on that path and hit the brick wall at 60 miles an hour, or you can stand up and say, you know what? I'm not putting up with this curriculum anymore. I'm not putting up with these movies anymore. I'm not putting up with this music anymore. I'm not going to allow my money to go to this church anymore. I'm not going to let them do what they did to Jesus again and again and again in the media, mocking him, making him out to be a pervert, making him out to be a freak, making the Son of God into a mockery, right? No, folks. Guess what? You make the wrong decision about that, I got nothing to say to you at this point. And no, Donald Trump is not a Christian, and neither is Joe Biden. And to all of you, phony Christian pastors out there that are pushing your Messiah in the White House, he ain't no Messiah, okay? He has never once publicly proclaimed his faith in Jesus Christ. Donald Trump stands with the sons of Cain, and so does Joe Biden. And guess what, folks? That's their problem. Don't make it yours. This is Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, coming to you live from the studios of the Fullerton Informer in Fullerton, California, with an election night update. Don't sit here and think that your unemployment's going to last forever. Don't think the stimulus is going to bail you out. Don't think that the food lines are gone for good. Just the opposite, folks. When the government goes this low and goes this long on a lie, they're going to abruptly cut everything off and put the screws to everybody unless we wake up. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, but guess what? It's just another day, and it is our responsibility to look out for ourselves and our families and what? Our fellow man. If you want to live your life just living for yourself, like all these selfish, myopic cowards in my community, that all they care about is the shine on their stupid electromagnetic Wi-Fi rolling chamber with damaging headlights that blind everybody as they drive around, as long as they're okay, right, in their little prison that they've made for themselves, they don't care about anybody else. Guess what, folks? All they got to do is shut the power off, and everyone's going to figure out really quick that the jig is up. It is time for all of you to take personal responsibility for you, your family, and your community. And don't put up with any more of this criminality. One step at a time, we fight evil. Thank you for tuning in. And in the name of Jesus Christ, we're going to win this, and we're going to expose their lies. This is a really good start right here, folks. Go to that website. If they lie about that, there ain't no telling how far their lies are going to go. And for all of you out there that are on the wrong side of things, clean it up or get right, or God help you. That's all I can say. Take care.
That is a great, yeah, start growing food. Start growing food, but it's winter. You know, my kale, I just checked on it, is really bad. I'm screwed. I'm so screwed. I'm so screwed because my garden went to shit because they sprayed a bunch of chemtrails on us, and I had a great garden up until June. And like the first couple weeks of June, there was a hailstorm that lasted 13 minutes. So it took out my whole garden, and it's never been the same. It took out all my fruit trees. Nothing actually ripened this year. All my peaches were the best they were ever. And guess what? I got to go spray them today with my organic spray for the spring and fall. But on that note, they were the best peaches ever. And then it rained one good rain, and they chemtrailed. It rained one good rain, and even my father witnessed it. And I said, "Do you see this?" 2 days later, all my peaches fell, and they were rotted. And all my pear trees, no matter how long I waited for these pears and took them down, ready for them to ripen, they never ripened. So I don't know. Good luck. Start growing your food indoors. Learn how to go hydroponics is one of the things I want to do. I have all these aquariums that I can turn into hydroponics with fish and grow vegetation on top of it. I like to do that, but I don't know if it'll ever happen. So here we go. I'm going to show you this video. This is what's going on in my county here in North Metro Atlanta. And this is why they have things boarded up, and they put, they said, hey, that's why the cell tower is going up. They're adding on to it that I just showed you outside my neighborhood and probably all around is because they use it as weaponry, guys. It's silent weapons. It's frequencies. I know a lot about frequencies. I've studied it a lot. I have multiple devices. I've done Orgonite. I have RFID military grade stickers on my modem, my computer right here. I have salt lamps, rock salt lamps. I have tinfoil. I have a roof of metal right here, tinfoil all the walls. I'm trying everything to block these frequencies because I have an EMF reader, and I've had to suffer from these frequencies. It almost killed me. And my smart meter on the other side of my bedroom, along with my children, headaches, migraines. We were sick all the time. Got rid of it. I'm a lot better now. And detoxing with Z-Tox, zeolites, something for heavy metals, getting rid of the heavy metals. Now, going back, I'm sorry I went off on a tangent, but I got, when this flows through my brain, I'm going to put it out there, especially when I'm live. Here it is. This is going on in my county. And in my state, these things are happening with the votes. All kinds of stuff. Machines, you name it. Absentee ballots, lost, not counted, blah, blah, blah. Here we go.
There is an issue in Gwinnett County as officials have told us that 60,000 Gwinnett County ballots are in limbo after a software issue. And this is according to the communications director of Gwinnett County, who told us a short time ago that the scanning machines that read the ballots are saying about half of the 120,000 absentee ballots may need further review. So there has been some issues, certainly at State Farm, also in DeKalb County, which has been a very slow go tonight. And now you've got some issues in Gwinnett County. So those big metro Atlanta counties where we're waiting to hear, the results that are so critical and so very important, we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to be patient.
Yeah, just got to do what we got to do. And
You just gotta do what we gotta do. Do you hear that guy? Man, he is part of the problem. Those people on these media outlets. Okay. This stuff is pre-planned. They didn't try to fix anything. It's so corrupt. It is the way it is, and people are not going to like the outcome no matter what. So, again, watch for all kinds of optics to be pulled on us. This is only the beginning. Look, this is what's going on in Colorado. This is PLS News. Check his channel out. I'll drop the link. He's out in Colorado. He's like me. He has an eye, and he talks, eyes to see, ears to hear, and he's out there, one for speaking for humanity, but he also puts out what he sees in his area, such as all of us, a lot of us that are on here. So it's good to connect with them. I would definitely support his channel. I know he's not a show, and I've been watching him for a while. All right. And, he's been on my channel many times as far as the chat room, and we've talked. So I know he's not a show, guys. Check him out. This is Colorado. What's the power outages are going around in our country. And I've showed you about the plasma. I've showed you about these hot spots along the power lines. What's going on here, folks? Is it directed energy weapons? You might want to question what the hell they're doing, like they do to the people in Paradise in California. Like California's burning all the time, and they spray agents from planes that help the fires along. And if you don't believe me, you might want to go do your research and research to do directed energy weapons, okay? Just saying.
Hey everyone, PLS News here. Just to give a little bit of update what's going on today. I know it's voting day, and just wanted to let you guys know what's going on here. Coincidentally, we got no power, and it's pretty substantial in our area. They don't have the slightest idea about what time it's going to be coming on, so we don't know what happened, but it's in several areas here in Colorado. And I have noticed, and I've done research on this as well, we have across the nation, there is a lot of power outages as well. So I don't know what's going on. It could be coincidental, who knows? But I just thought I'd just stop by just to let you guys know this. Y'all have a good day. PLS News out, but not gone. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right, I was trying to see, this was probably 2 days ago. I know this wasn't on yesterday. I don't think so. So let me just definitely let me check the date on this. It was, I'm getting interrupted for a minute. This is November 3rd, so this was published yesterday. And I wonder if that has anything to do with any of the, are they able to vote? Is votes going through in Colorado? Because if there's power outages, I don't know. So do you know, I took a giant dump on your hot mushroom. Oh gosh, this is funny. 19 hours ago, somebody said, I just want to let you know I took a giant dump in the voting booth. You're welcome. I sure do hope you get power soon. I'm in Denver. Who knows what will happen?
I have pickups now.
Right. Oh, you have hiccups? Okay, guys, I'm going to play a video for a minute. I'm going to show you guys what's going on with elections. Hold on.
There is
Sorry, guys. Stay with me if you'd like. I'm trying to put up agenda-free TV for a minute while I take care of something. I'm multitasking, and my computer's locking up. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. It's frustrating when the computer doesn't work as fast as I want to lately. Sorry, guys. I'll have to refresh this window, possibly. I'll be right there, love, if you have hiccups. Just remember, they'll go away.
A weapon.
an issue in Gwinnett
Well, guys, at this point, I don't know what's going on here. I could.
Five Below again?
More?
Yes. More? Yes.
It just won't let me.
Five Below
My
lets you
computer
count
keeps
this high,
locking
'cause
up.
Prices are
It won't let me stop the videos fast.
Let the festivities.
I don't know. I've had so much problem in the last 2 days. What's up, Captain? How are you? Hope you're doing good. Get any sleep after all this excitement? Not really, but yeah, not a lot of people slept. I did. I slept really good. Not enough. Not nearly enough, but enough. I couldn't hack watching any of it anymore. I was watching another live streamer, Portland Andy. He fell asleep during his stream, like I was going to, and he kept streaming. However, he gets paid, so it's really to his advantage to keep on going. So, you know, the thing is that, man, it took so much energy out of me streaming the last few days and the last month. Whew, I have to get sleep sometimes. So yeah, let me find. This is not the. I'm trying to find somebody that's got some good information right now about what's going on. Let's see, red pilling the masses.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Oh no. I showed that yesterday, the bond hearings. Let's see. Sky News is a really good one. I do like Sky News. Are you guys watching Sky News at all? Because that's a really good news outlet, I believe. Let's watch them live for a minute. No, there's no results. There's not going to be any. Ha! Not anytime soon.
On the eastern side
That's
of
why.
the state, as we were saying earlier, there are two big
Corruption
metropolises in this
at
state,
its finest.
Pittsburgh to the west, Philadelphia to the east. Traditionally, up until and including Hillary Clinton's defeat 4 years ago, they were two cities which voted heavily for a Democrat. So what will they do this time? We just don't know, because the counting is still underway and they've still got quite some way to go. And then when you take into account the Rust Belt to the north of here, vast swathes of land, counties, towns, blue-collar workers as they're known, who for decades had voted Democrat and then swung heavily to Donald Trump 4 years ago. What will they do this time around? Again, we still don't know, because many of those votes are yet to be counted. Now, there is a suggestion that mail-in ballots, which have been used, very many of them have been used this time around. Mail-in people who vote by mail tend to be Democrats. They are more worried about coronavirus than Republicans. But these are generalizations. Will they bear out? Will they become fact? We will see. But if they are true, then there are so many mail-in ballots yet to be counted that the lead that Donald Trump currently has in Pennsylvania, which is quite a substantial lead, it could be narrowed. Perhaps even Joe Biden will overtake it. We will see. We are awaiting a news conference now, as you say, from one of three commissioners here in Philadelphia. They are in charge of the electoral process here. They are, two of them are Democrats, I believe. One of them is a Republican. I think I've got that the right way around. But as one of them was saying this morning when he was giving a statement, they are the umpires here. They are nonpartisan when it comes to the electoral process, and their job is to get those votes counted. Donald Trump, in the middle of the night from the White House, suggested that there should be a legal process. He claimed victory and said that mass fraud was taking place. Well, whether Democrat or Republican, the commissioners here would disagree.
Hello,
with that.
Leo.
They are saying that
How are
it
you?
is perfectly legal to count votes now. Obviously, the votes were cast yesterday. You then count them and you make sure that they're all counted, and then you release the result of that. And that is just what they are doing now. And different states have different specific laws. Remember, there is a Supreme Court in each state in the land here. There is also a Supreme Court, federal Supreme Court up in Washington, D.C. The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania voted or agreed or put into law
Much love,
that
Leo.
any ballot, mail-in ballot,
and
was
Zoo.
stamped, of the date of yesterday, the election up until the date of yesterday, could still be counted for the next 3 days, and so they will continue to have that count. Now, Donald Trump appears to be disagreeing with that, says he will take it to the Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. So what we will see, I think, almost inevitably, is litigation over the course of the next few days, weeks, perhaps months. But what we're waiting for right now is an update on how far they've got with the counts here in this all-important city within an all-important state.
And Mark, just while we wait to hear from Philadelphia, what about those other two key Rust Belt states? What's going on in neighboring Michigan and Wisconsin?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
What's so secretive? Why are they gonna cover up with black
the commissioner is
curtains?
here now. She's
That's
not
really
at the
odd.
podium yet. Michigan and
What
Wisconsin.
are they so
I'll take you through
secretive
Michigan,
about? Hiding
first
behind the
of
black
all,
curtains.
And it
See
looks
that?
as though the latest figures
Crooks.
that I've got, which I hope tally with what you have, is that in Michigan, 16 electoral college votes, remember, and it is a winner-takes-all process. So the winner of that state gets all 16 electoral college votes to add up to that all-important 270 figure. At the moment, Donald Trump has a 0.6% lead in Michigan, with 86 at the last time I looked, the 86, perhaps 87% of the votes counted. So too close to call there. It looks as though that Joe Biden, because the places like Wayne County in Michigan, Detroit is the big city in Wayne County, that is went to Clinton last time by some wide margin. So the assumption is Joe Biden should win it this time. They've still got a lot of counting to do there. So that 0.6% lead
just to
to
update
Donald
you,
Trump in Michigan
Mark,
should be narrowed.
Mark, just to update you what you've got, we've got the latest figures now with 90% of votes counted, and Biden is actually a nose ahead, 49.3% to 49.1%. So everything.
Yeah, that shows how quickly these things change. I'll step out of the way because the commissioner is coming up to the podium now.
Hi everybody, good morning.
Oh boy, watch this.
Just wanted to come out. I'm joined today by Commissioner Severe and Commissioner Schmidt. We just
Hi
wanted
everybody,
to come
good
out today
morning.
to just,
We
to
just
give you an update
wanted
of
to
where we're
come
at.
out. I'm joined today by Commissioner Sabir and Commissioner El Schmidt, and we just wanted to come out today to just, to give you an update of where we're at. As you may or may not know, we updated our system around 4:30 this morning, so we're roughly at about 141,000. That work continues, and at some point today, we'll have additional numbers. And we'll let you know as soon as we can when that will be. Everybody's working. You can see it on the live stream. There's a lot of activity, and that's really how we envision this. To just continue to work and work and work until it all gets done, and that's what we're doing today. So at some point today, we'll be back out with additional numbers, and we just wanted to, we felt that we should come out and tell you, because if some of you didn't know about the update that we did do early this morning. Thank you.
Does that not look like a Nazi system? Look at this, man. I smell corruption. Look at this. Look at these people.
It certainly would make a difference. Again,
Look at this, man.
It's hard for me to say whether
Crazy.
we would be finished or not because we've never done this before. But certainly, any little bit would have helped. Yes, absolutely.
Biden's campaign says that they expect vote by mail in Philadelphia to be counted tonight or tomorrow. Do you expect that to be the case?
We're doing the best we can to get that count done as soon as possible, and it's going to be accurate. They will be segregated, but right now we're working on we're working on the ballots we have. They're the ballots that we're working on right now.
This is a corrupt system. Look at this. Their agenda in play with the mask, and look at
some point
this.
today, we'll be
I don't
back
trust
out
any of
to
these
give you
people counting
updated numbers,
votes.
and we'll let you
They
know
look
when
all
that's
corrupt to
done.
me. No fact checkers. Who knows? I want to see
Will be done
everything,
as soon as
cameras
we're
up
done.
close.
We want to make sure that every vote that is legitimately cast and is good, it gets counted. That's what normally happens in elections. People vote, we count the votes, and then there's a winner and there's a loser. That's what's going to happen. We're going to count the votes, and we're going to end up at the end. But it's going to be accurate, and we will continue to give you information as it becomes available.
Comments by Donald Trump this morning. The 4 o'clock update, that was what we were expecting at midnight or 1. Then we were told that there was going to be updated numbers at 9. Can you explain why there's no updated numbers now?
We're working on it. So everybody's working. You can see the live stream. People are working. As soon as we have numbers, we'll let you know. No issue.
This indicates there's no slowdown, no issue.
Absolutely.
Anyone should be aware.
No, we're just going.
Do you have an update on the total number that have come in? The 350,000 that we all generally were aware of is, as I understand, Sunday's total of mail-in ballots coming in. Do you have an updated total number of mail-in ballots that have come in?
We are at 353 now. We'll be able to update all those numbers at some point today.
Do you know the number of ballots that have come in since 8 p.m. last night?
I do not know right now, but I mean, we do know, but I don't know right now.
And are those going to be part of the total that you put out in the next, when you put out numbers, will those be included? Those segregated ballots?
When the next totals come out, they will be part of the original number that we gave you. We didn't get there yet, so we're still counting those ballots.
You can process 10,000 an hour, about 200,000 left, so you theoretically process all of them ballots by this time tomorrow.
I'm going to let Commissioner Schmidt say what he says so eloquently.
So that's definitely not true. But what I can say is, we get pressed to ask, how many ballots can you possibly count going full tilt, uninterrupted into the machines? And we say, should that happen? That's about 10,000 ballots an hour. That doesn't mean you're capable of counting 10,000 ballots an hour. You have shift changes. We have workstations that we clean in between shifts.
So it'll be at least until this time tomorrow that you have 97%.
Yes, we would at least until this time tomorrow. So half the people in this room wrote stories saying, listen, everybody, calm down. You're not going to know the results on election night. You have to have a different approach to this. You have to have a different perspective because things have changed with mail-in voting. When half of the votes in the city are cast by mail and half of the votes are at the polling place, counting votes cast by mail, if you're going to do it right and you're going to do it accurately, because there's no other choice, takes a little bit of time. So I know that's very frustrating. It's frustrating for you. It's frustrating for us. But if you're going to get it right and you're going to prevent problems which jeopardize voters' votes, it's more important that we do it right than meet artificial deadlines. We're pushing out the results as quickly as we can. We're not holding anything back. If we say like 9 o'clock, we don't want to hold till 9 o'clock. We want you to know and everybody know as soon as we have more votes to report. And you can see for yourself, they've been working uninterrupted upstairs.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I love how he paused there. He's such a liar. That pause, he's trying to convince us of a lie. This is a total coin spinning. You're right, Zeus Scott. This is not going to be over, and they're trying to hold out people from going crazy.
Right? So what's going on is like an assembly line. So first you have ballots that just came in. They're sealed. They get sorted and prepared to then move from the sorting. After they're sorted, they move to the extraction table where they get run through and sliced, and a secrecy envelope is extracted, and then they have to be extracted again to take the ballot contents out of the secrecy envelope. And then they have to be unfolded and backbended and prepared for scanning. It takes time. It takes time to open those many ballots. As everybody knows, that's why we knew that it was going to take longer. And everybody,
And this really doesn't matter what the outcome is. The outcome is still all the same. We must, yeah. I just showed you Joe Ambrosso's Joe the Fullerton Informer's video to show you that not only do I think this, but many people think it does not matter which side. They're just holding back everything until everything falls in place. And it's soon going to happen. And this lockdown that you have over in UK and Australia is soon to be here, and people don't understand. We have a fence around the White House just holding these people back. They're trying to hold back things. Exactly, Leo. So, like a Russian roulette with one empty chamber. Yep, you know it. So let me show you some of the videos of why I think this, because what they're putting out in my city in Atlanta. So let me show you a different channel. Give me a minute, guys. I'm trying to get my browser to not freeze up anymore, and so I can pause the sound on that video. Okay. All right. This is what's going on. We have businesses here in my city that bordered up ahead of the elections. Okay. They know before time, they didn't just do it, but they know what's coming because they keep dragging this whole process out. And they've done it every year. They did it last time too. Who thought it was going to be any different? Tomorrow starts England's full lockdown. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's a pandemic, and it's planned for what's to come. There's so much in the works, guys, and I don't, it is. I'm not trying to say that, it's all going to happen at once, but it's happening we are living it. You're seeing it right before our eyes.
Across Metro Atlanta are taking extra precautions ahead of today's elections. We spotted wooden boards being set up in front of the Nike store at Lenox Square Mall. The mall has been a target in the past following unrest in the city. Now, a similar scene at the Ross store off of Piedmont Road in Northeast Atlanta. The Michaels store, a few doors down, has also boarded up its front doors as well. And we want to be clear, we have not been made aware of any protest plans. But if you happen to see these stores boarded up around town, we wanted to give you context as to why. Gwinnett County Police also tells 11 Alive officers are prepared for Election Day and beyond. They hope increased patrols will act as a deterrent and make people feel safe. Now, preparations for the election also include bulking up the protection around the People's House. That's right, the White House. Crews in D.C. started installing a non-scalable fence outside the White House yesterday morning. Businesses near the White House have also boarded up. Police expect demonstrations today and tomorrow, Sheba.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Kelly.
So they know what's coming. They know. Yeah, you hear me. You know what's up, Leo. And you know what's going on in your part of the world. This is all a psyop. I wouldn't believe anything the puppet masters are saying. This is all that they're chitting in their own nest mentally. Yeah. This is, and here's another thing, guys. I want to show you this. The Schumann resonance for the last 2 days has been, whoa, like normal. Like, oh, here it is. It's starting to spike again. See, that's strange because it was doing good and now it's spiking. I'm starting to get a headache too. So I find that interesting because I showed this earlier and now we have more spikage, more of a dramatic increase of frequencies back to the earth again, and people in our minds. I'm starting to get tired again, but yeah, let me show you this really quick. Yeah, for those 2 days, I was extremely tired. I woke up still tired, even though I slept quite a normal amount. How's everybody else feeling? You guys okay out there, Leo and Sue? I mean, the frequencies are going to get heavy on us. I just filmed a cell phone tower outside my neighborhood yesterday after I voted of them adding on to it or doing something, and my whole body was vibrating for hours. And you know, I don't know what to say about it, but I feel like the frequencies are going to amp them up, and I feel them all the time. Yep. So I just want to say this is what's going on again with the Schumann. So anyways, guys, let's see. I can go back to some more Sky News. I got to get some more tea and eat something. I'm hungry. So let me go back over here, and I'm going to play a little more Sky News for you guys to show you what's going on in my country. And oh, here's the weather. Awesome. This is interesting. Where is it supposed to be hot right now? I thought in the southern hemisphere. But when I look over here, everything's really cold. Unless they're doing it in a different Celsius. I mean, yeah, Celsius. Oh. Yep, I hear you, Leo. Myself and somebody else that's on my panel has been too. I hear you. It's been really heavy, and I can sometimes it makes me really tired, like they're trying to do right now, I bet. So you know, you're welcome, Zoo. I love your kind words. I'm just doing what I can do for us all, and you know, what can I say? Yeah. Just be aware that the frequencies is everything. And I love you too, Leo.
In the race for the White House.
Best thing you can do is
expected and could take days to resolve.
I don't even know. Keep your vibrations high. You know, keep your love portraying like you do.
A fight to the end. Donald Trump makes a baseless claim of electoral fraud and threatens legal action.
This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Joe Biden is still neck and neck in key swing states as he slams Trump's fraud claims as outrageous. It could all come down to Pennsylvania. We're live in the key states that could decide this election. And we'll bring you the latest results as Washington, D.C. wakes up to electoral limbo. Hello from the United States of America, which is in limbo. There's no clear result yet in the US presidential election. It is 2 o'clock in the UK, 9 a.m. here in Washington, and the outcome of this election is still too close to call. Not only that, but the two candidates may be heading into the courts. Now, it's important to say that we are expecting to hear from the Democratic candidate, and also we may well get clarification in some key swing states as to who has won there. Now, Donald Trump has called the ongoing counting of ballots in some of those states a major fraud on the nation, and Joe Biden has responded angrily to those claims, saying they are incorrect and outrageous. Everyone is now concentrating on 6 or 7 key swing states, particularly the 3 in the Rust Belt, and in particular Pennsylvania. There, Donald Trump is ahead. but there is a lot of counting still to be done.
And in my
The president
state,
is
Georgia,
projected, to
that's
take
why I'm
a
showing you
higher
all the
power vote.
optics.
Mr. Trump,
These are
has
planned.
held the Sunshine
Pennsylvania,
State of
Detroit,
Florida after
and
Joe
Georgia
Biden,
for sure.
lost key parts of the Latino vote, particularly in Dade County in the South. Wisconsin, Georgia, and North Carolina are also still counting and very close. There's better news for the Democratic candidate in Arizona. He is ahead and seems on the brink of clinching that traditionally Republican state. He's also expected to win in Minnesota. Well, from here in Washington, our correspondent Alistair Bunkle reports now.
Donald Trump had told us time and again not to write him off. But despite no landslide, no win even, the president once again defied the polls. And with the final few key states still in the mix, he went on the offensive from the White House.
This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list, okay?
It didn't take the Biden team long to hit back, his campaign manager saying it will be the American people who decide this election. And their legal teams were on standby. The Democrats had been expecting such a move from the now familiar Trump playbook. The former vice president was prepared earlier in the night.
We believe we're on track to win this election. We knew because of the unprecedented early vote and the mail-in vote, it was going to take a while. We're going to have to be patient until the hard work of tallying votes is finished. And it ain't over till every vote is counted. Every ballot is counted.
On the streets of Washington, the uncertainty has fed a febrile atmosphere, discontent with Trump and nervousness about which way the country is heading. As we'd suspected all along, it'll be those Rust Belt states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, that will decide America's path forward. Biden's supporters remain confident.
I wish this would have been resolved earlier, but, you know, we have to keep the hope alive. I mean, Joe Biden's such a wonderful man. He's such a wonderful, ethical. He's going to bring the country together.
She just said ethical.
I'm still very confident. Vice President Biden's going to be our next president.
It's going to take a little longer than we thought. And so we're optimistic. You know, we're just used to, we're Americans. We're used to having things quickly. And now we got to be a little more patient.
America and the world's next 4 years are still hanging in the balance.
Well, Alistair Bunkle is here with me, Alistair Bunkle for the picture across the nation. But first, let's go to Mark Stone in Pennsylvania, where we've heard from officials in the last few minutes. Mark.
Adam, yeah, good morning from the Philadelphia, or the convention center here in Philadelphia. Let's bring you right up to date with the count here. I've got with me Al Schmidt, one of the commissioners here in Philadelphia. How are you getting on?
Well, we have a road ahead of us here. We have more than 350,000 mail-in ballots cast in Philadelphia. We counted and reported about 140,000 last night, and we have a little bit more than 200,000 left to go.
Just for people who don't understand the process, why is it taking so long, and why so much longer here in Pennsylvania than in other states?
So a lot of other states allow their boards of elections to begin opening envelopes and preparing the ballots for counting first thing on election morning. In Pennsylvania, we don't have that luxury. We can only begin the process on election morning at 7 a.m. So it causes Pennsylvania to be a little bit behind a lot of other states that also have mail-in ballot voting.
Because it's important to remember that individual states across the United States have individual laws, and they do their election process in a slightly different way, right?
They really do. And it sometimes causes a lot of confusion because each state is running its own election.
Yep.
And within each state, there are
Watch this next video.
Each county is running its own election, you know, as long as it as long as it's, you know, in keeping with the state
This is a
election law.
PSYOP, planned PSYOP, guys. I'm going to show you a video of my
Well, our new
state
democracy
connects
is,
the dots.
still working out the kinks.
Yeah, I bet. I want to talk to you about Donald Trump's comments last night. At 2 a.m., he came out, he declared victory, and he said something very specific. He said, he said they should stop counting the votes, and I don't want votes that are found at 4 a.m. To be added to the pile. What's your take on that?
So we will count every vote cast on or before Election Day by every eligible voter who cast those votes. It is important that we not disenfranchise a single voter who cast their vote on or before Election Day. Pennsylvania also allows us to receive ballots back mailed on or before Election Day. So if you put your ballot in the mail yesterday, we would get it today or tomorrow or the next day, but it has to be mailed on or before Election Day.
So as long as it has the stamp of Election Day or before, the date stamp, then you can count it up until what, Friday?
And it has to come through the U.S. Postal Service for us to count it. There aren't people dropping off ballots today. There's no more ballot drop-offs. There's no more showing up at our offices to cast your vote. That's all closed. The only thing remaining are votes coming back in the mail.
Now, I'm afraid I don't know. I know you're the umpire here, but I don't know whether you're a Democrat or a Republican commissioner.
So I'm a public servant.
You're a public,
and we're paid for by we're you know, our salaries are paid by taxpayer dollars. So it's important for us not to be partisan. I'm a registered Republican.
You're a registered Republican. What did you make when you heard, I don't know if you, I'm guessing you were awake. What did you make of Donald Trump's comments at 2 a.m.?
I was indeed awake.
What did you think of what he said?
We've all been awake for a very long time. You know, it's when we hear things that are untrue about the election process in Philadelphia, it's important for us to do our best to kind of clarify the record and correct things that are said that are untrue. That being said, we're a small city department in a great big country, right? It's hard to combat a tweet that gets 100 million people with eyes on it at any one time. So, you know, we do our part, but we can't spend day and night fighting against political propaganda. We have to spend day and night counting votes.
Do you expect the federal lawyers to be wandering to this building at any point?
That started a while ago. There's no shortage of lawyers around election time.
And you expect more, maybe? More litigation?
There's no telling, really.
All right, Al Schmidt,
He said it. There's no telling, really.
Thank you for your time. So there we are. I think that's a fascinating insight there, not only into the counting process and just how difficult it is, but there you heard a registered Republican commissioner, a man who is the umpire here, he says, non-partisan, but saying effectively that what Donald Trump said last night is an untruth about the way the election process should be run.
Oh boy, man, it's gonna get dirty. Okay, this is all a psyop, guys. I'm gonna show you. I gotta go in a minute, and I want to show you a video why I think this because. But here, let me play this, and I'll be right back. I gotta grab something to eat. But this is a psyop. And people's votes are not counting. This is all a psyop. It's projected to be this way to create chaos, order out of chaos. Look at DC, order out of chaos. This is all a
One
psyop.
interesting thing about that is
I
the
swear.
phrase "last night I was leading." It seems as if even Donald Trump has some doubts as to whether he is still leading. Alistair Bunker, what do you make of that?
I mean, there's a very clear inference in that he is questioning why he's now not leading and casting doubt on the electoral process, which is an extraordinary thing for the sitting president of the United States of America to do.
I mean, basically, with that phrase where he says, my lead started to magically disappear as surprise ballot dumps were counted, very strange. I mean, what he's saying is the advance votes and the mail-in votes basically shouldn't count.
Well, he's questioning where these ballot dumps come from. They're surprise ballot dumps. Where have they come from? What who are these voters who have now
They're not surprise ballot dumps, are they?
No, they're not. They're mail-in voters, early mail-in voters. We've been seeing it on the live picture from Pennsylvania. The way it works, in sort of simple terms, is because of the fluid nature of on-the-day voting. People going in and casting their ballot, they tend to focus on those first in states like Pennsylvania, who only start their counting on election day itself. And the reason they do that is for security reasons. Whereas mail-in voting that's already been mailed in, they leave that till last, if you like. They leave that till second. And that's why you see this disparity in what's going on. That is why there is a phrase, the blue wave. That hasn't come out of this election. That has come out of historical elections. And that is that you have a red mirage to begin with, where it looks as though the Republicans are doing well. And in the subsequent hours and days, you get a blue wave as those votes start to be
And
counted.
the point this time round being that the two blocs felt differently about COVID and therefore differently about when to vote.
Well, exactly. The Democrats who, and if you look at the difference in approach between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, they tended to vote mail-in voting or drive-through voting, basically in any scenario where they didn't have to necessarily expose themselves to other people in a queue, in a line, in a polling station. So they took advantage of those systems that were put in place. And so therefore more Democrats voted in that manner. And because those votes are being counted now, i.e. second, that's why you see Joe Biden catching up in some states and exceeding.
Going to talk to a legal expert about that in a moment, but just quickly, where are we with the national race at the moment with all these open states?
A number of key states that we're watching that are edging slightly closer towards some sort of conclusion. Arizona getting towards it. Joe Biden still winning there. If he could take that, that would be the first state to have flipped in the entire election. The likes of Georgia and North Carolina on a knife edge could go either way. If they went for Biden, then that would be a big victory for him. It's still really those three Rust Belt states where it could come down to, though, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, we might not know for some time, but Wisconsin and Michigan, we could start to get somewhere closer to declarations within the coming hours.
Thank you, Alistair, for now. Let's get more now on the legal situation. Joining us is Michael Dorf. He is a former Supreme Court clerk to Justice Anthony Kennedy and a professor of law at Cornell University. And he joins me now from Ithaca in New York State. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Michael Dorf. Could I ask you, first of all, the president said last night he was going to the US Supreme Court over this result. Do you see what case he would bring?
Yes. So the Supreme Court is a court of appeal, which means that it's not going to be the place he goes in the first instance. His lawyers have already filed multiple legal challenges in Pennsylvania. They've uniformly lost in the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. They've been up to the U.S. Supreme Court twice already and lost both times there, but narrowly. And as you may have heard the secretary from Pennsylvania saying earlier, they've been segregating the ballots that were received after the sort of close of business last night, because there are apparently at least 4 justices of the U.S. Supreme Court who think that those ballots oughtn't to be counted because the state legislature did not authorize that. Our Constitution gives state legislatures the power to set the ground rules for elections, and there is a theory among some of the Republican-leaning justices that that should be strictly interpreted.
How does that theory really work? Because what we've been hearing from election commissioners in Pennsylvania, for example, is that they're basically following precedent and that they've had late counting of votes for many election cycles.
Yes, so they have. The question is, when does a ballot count? And so the Pennsylvania Supreme Court said that in light of the pandemic and Pennsylvania's state constitution, which protects the right to vote, that ballots mailed by the deadline, meaning the end of the election day yesterday, but received a few days later would count. And in a normal election, that would be fine. But as I say, several justices of our U.S. Supreme Court have indicated that they think in so reading the statute, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overstepped its bounds. I should say this is a new and fairly radical theory that I don't agree with. But 3 justices of the U.S. Supreme Court supported something like this back in 2000, you may remember, when they decided the election between George W. Bush and Al Gore. And so if the election comes down to Pennsylvania, the question that could arise would be, do these late-breaking ballots make the difference? And if so, then the question would also be, does Amy Coney Barrett participate? Because she might be the 5th and decisive vote. So there are a lot of ifs there. Biden could still win the election without Pennsylvania if he hangs on to Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Arizona. in which case that would all be moot. But, as the president likes to say, we'll have to wait and see.
Now, just two quick final questions. I mean, as you say, it would only really be worth Donald Trump going to law if he loses, and he loses because of Pennsylvania. Is that right, or would he pursue this anyway?
Well, there are other matters on the ballot, right? So he could pursue it anyway while also seeking recounts in Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada, wherever he loses closely. Recounts almost never change the outcome. But Donald Trump has shown throughout his political career that he leaves no stone unturned, even when, it's a gigantic, heavy rock, and he'll just say it doesn't exist. So I expect him to continue to pursue these matters. I think there's an irony here, of course, which is that he's been saying for months now that the election should be decided on election night or as soon as thereafter, and he could be the one in the position who's trying to delay the outcome.
Okay, and just one other final question. It's a big question, really. Do you believe that the judiciary is now biased against the Democrats because of the activism and appointments during the Trump administration?
Biased
What's up, Grant? How are you?
Say that their inclinations are contrary to the interests of the Democratic Party institutionally. It's hard to distinguish in this instance between ideological convictions, which we think are legitimate, and partisanship, because the Democratic ideology says, the right to vote is fundamental, count every one, and the Republicans tend to be sticklers for rules. And so in this instance, their ideological druthers match up with their partisan druthers, and so one can't necessarily draw an inference of partisanship. I will say the one justice who has impressed me extremely well during the last month or so with nonpartisanship is Chief Justice John Roberts, who is a Republican appointee, but has been voting consistently to defer.
None of them impress me. They're all the same. And this is a PSYOP, guys. I've been telling you guys this since on both my channels. This is a PSYOP. I don't know what else to say, but there's no reason why the White House would be locked down. And they knew the PSYOP was going to play out, that nothing's going to be counted right, just like last time. People are going to have a problem with it. People are more amped up because now they have the 5G towers everywhere. And they've been spraying us like they have you guys in the UK. And on top of it, everybody's full of heavy metals, and the 60 gigahertz of the towers, make people very angry. They're not only going to get angry, but they're stretching this out, guys. They're stretching it out for multiple reasons. They're not only spraying the skies just to poison us, but other cover-ups going on. And that is what they're playing on. Earth changes. All kinds of events. So they can take grasp of us and put us from one cage to another. This is a PSYOP. And I played the videos on the beginning of my stream. Joe Embrioso, Joe Fulton, former, and then I'm getting my frequencies bad, guys. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have to be on here because they are hitting me because of what I've talked about already today. They've hit me for the last, I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't like to give them more power when they, so a lot. So the frequencies are very strong. And they're making me tired, and I'm having a headache almost. And on top of it, this is a PSYOP, and this is what's going on in my state. Okay, just give me a minute because my eyes really hurt. I have my glasses on. I was doing good when I first woke up, but as soon as I come out here and get on YouTube, things happen. Trust me. All the time. But I fight it with the light force of you guys, your power and light, your light force, our life force, Leos, Grants, Zeus, Karmas, all you guys that come to my channel, the ones I can think off the top of my head, all of you lovely light warriors for humanity. That is the light force that they seek, harvesting from us, energy, sucking us dry. Remember, I can't breathe is part of the 60 gigahertz kill grid with the death towers, the 5G, the cell towers to really make us sick. So I'm good. I'm fighting through it. It's just, it's kind of intense. I've had it off and on. They've been doing this to me for a while now, but it's on a different level. They've amped up their level on a different total level. There's nothing I don't know what to do about it. I just don't know at this point. I don't know what to do about it. However, I'm going to continue fighting for humanity. So this is what's going on in Atlanta. This was going on in this video. What was this video? November 3rd, published yesterday. It's the 4th today. The psyop of not counting the votes. They already knew this was going to go on. I've already called it since last election. Why can't we do the thumbprint? There's people out there voting that shouldn't be voting. There's all kinds of psyop. Mail-in votes. Come on. This is all corruption to do this. This is we are being led, folks. We are being led. Well, all these people are being led. The ones speaking out, the ones trying to show, or, ones for humanity could be very much attacked by these visible weapons of mass destruction called frequencies. Okay, this is a psyop going on in Atlanta. And this is why my state, you're not going to know. We're not going to know for a few days. They're holding back and purposely pushing the pressure for the outcome of destruction, order out of chaos. That's why my city's boarded up. That's why they've got the National Guard employed in Pennsylvania. That's why the protests were in Pennsylvania. That's why you're not going to know any of the votes in Pennsylvania for a little while. This is all corrupt. Do you see the Nazi regime, the Fourth Reich taking over? I'm watching it. The agenda is in play as we speak, man. It's really sick. So here it is.
She voted in Fulton County 3 weeks ago in person. Yet Edwards says she can't find any confirmation on the state's online My Voter page that her vote ever recorded, as if she'd never voted at all.
I'm frustrated. I did my part as a citizen. I went and I voted. I just want to know that my vote counted.
Kenya Edwards says she and her niece voted on October 12th at the Georgia International Convention Center in College Park. She says that her niece's vote recorded later online, but not her own vote, and that she hasn't been able to get anyone yet from Fulton County's elections office to give her any guidance or explanation. You just want your vote counted.
Point blank, I want my vote to be counted.
All voters can check their records. Go online, search for something like Voter Registration Georgia, find your way to the Georgia My Voter link, fill in the boxes, and when the My Voter page comes up with your personal registration info, look for the link on the lower left. It says click here for absentee ballot status, but it's for in-person voting status too. I voted in person, and when I clicked here, it shows that I voted in a special election on September 25th and also in the general election on October 16th. But Kenya Edwards showed me that when she logs in and tries all that, the link she gets is gray, inactive, as if she hadn't voted.
So I'm not counted, so I'm hoping others will check their status as well, and if not, go vote tomorrow.
What's going
From the video that was about to play. That's from one of my videos I showed the other day, Boots on the Ground. They're telling my viewers, this following content has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences. Do you wish to understand? Do you understand and wish to proceed? I have no idea what they're talking about. Why that video would be offensive? Boots on the Ground. I just did it a few days ago. You would wonder. I was connecting the dots, showing things on Twitter. Maybe it was really violent, but Twitter allows it. And they play that on this platform. This platform allows a lot of things that you'd be really blown away about. So on that note, let's go back to Sky News. Let's check out what's going on. I just like to show you guys the psyop. I like to record it and we can talk about it because it gets people thinking. And I've been looking at my analytics of my channel, so I'm trying to also help out people in our age range that might not know a lot about everything, the scope of everything that we might know already. A lot of you, some of us don't know, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning a lot every day because it's so evolving. So I'm just trying to connect the dots and show you guys that we're in a big time psyop and they're about to clamp down, like Joe said. Imagine if they say everybody locked down and then they stop the trucks coming with the groceries. What are you going to do for food? Are you prepared for a long time in your house with no with your food and what you have? And then if you can't pay your bills, oh boy, they want our land. They want us to go debt free by, hey, we'll forgive your debts, but your land is ours. Well, you know, this is just really cruel what they're doing to humanity. And the only way to stop it is to educate people and tell them the truth of the nature of our reality. You know, they're spraying chemtrails over England right now, and they have been for years. And I know because I show on my Skywatch video playlist all the Skywatchers that I watch all around the world, and I put their videos on there. So anybody has anything to say about, oh, those are clouds or the condensation, you need to educate yourself, because this biochemical warfare is being sprayed down on us widely throughout the world daily. Bunker fuels and barium, strontium, aluminum, chromium, nickel, agents that we're breathing daily and going into our brain barrier. That's why I just put my zeolites. This is Zetox. This is Zetox, and this is what I put in my tea. You can put it in juice, water, milk, whatever you want. I put it in my children's too. It gets the heavy metals out of our brain, and if you've had vaccinations, it will help that. Get them out of the brain barrier, the mercury and aluminum stored in our brain, for sure. You know, so like, dude, this is on a massive level of genocide. This level of genocide, guys, is wide. These people right here are crooks. They sold us out to China. They're all in it for the same. They are all two of the same. It just sucks, man. It really sucks.
There is another statement, another tweet. We've had a couple of tweets from President Trump making his argument in the last few minutes. Let's just have a look now at those two tweets. I think we can see them there. With me is Ali Bunkle. This is the first tweet. Second tweet he put out: how come every time they count mail-in ballot dumps, they are so devastating in their percentage and power of destruction? Earlier, he said it was suspicious and surprising what was going on. Alistair Bunkle, this is a very American election. It's heading towards the lawyers.
I mean, I have to say, those tweets carry the sort of tone of someone who
Let's
is
just read
perhaps...
the other one earlier this hour. Last night, I was leading, often solidly, in many key states. In almost all instances, Democrat run and controlled. Then, one by one, they started to magically disappear as surprise ballot dumps were counted. Very strange, and the pollsters got it completely and historically wrong. Well, apart from the jibe at the pollsters, who could yet actually look rather better than they have done before, Alistair, you know, talking about vote dumps. I mean, clearly, you know, trying to disparage the votes of the American people, and of course, Democrats taking the other side.
Yeah, they're not vote dumps. They're individual votes cast by Americans in their tens of millions, in excess of 100 million. I mean, it has been a very, very high turnout. And as we were saying, the reason that you have this slight change in the counting dynamic after the polls close, and as you know, night goes into day, is because of early voting. And early voting is something that Democrats tend to engage in greater numbers than Republicans, and that is why we get this.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and they can't count votes. And I just showed you guys the video here in Atlanta. And this is the state that they can't figure it out. One of them. This is all a psyop. I got to show you this video. And I've been preparing this, and I found it. This is what we need to think about. This is it. We're in imminent danger. We're being invaded. Okay, this is a Trojan horse. I just said this the other night. Okay, damn, man, the frequencies are heavy today, guys. Woo. Okay, here we go. They don't like me, and I don't like them. So I'm gonna continue, and no fear. Okay, so this is a video that I've been wanting to play for you guys, and I'm gonna have to go get some Tylenol. I'm being hit in the ears, head, body, back of the head. So here we go.
Hello to everyone in the United States. Every country is a state. It's got its own borders. This is a dire message. We are under imminent invasion and attack by Northern Command, Northcom, the CIA, Special Forces, and your so-called leaders. Northern Command is headquartered in Colorado, and Northern Command's area of responsibility is Canada, the United States, and Mexico. We are about to be invaded and exterminated. This is a message to you that it is time to take positive action. If you do not do something today to take action to save your life, to disarm the forces of evil that are coming to either murder you in your home or kill you on the street or inject you with a chip and a vaccine that's designed to kill you, then we are at checkmate. We have been invaded. We are under martial law. A state of emergency was declared in March. Trump stepped down as president and CEO of the US of A Corporation that is posing as a government and has no jurisdiction outside of Washington, the District of Columbia, and he has turned it over to FEMA. Military vehicles and personnel are mobilizing throughout the United States, if not the entire world. The first commandment on the Georgia Guidestones is to maintain a population worldwide under 500 million. That means 6.5 billion people will die at the hands of the forces of evil unless we stop Bill Gates, Donald Trump, the vaccines, and the mobilization of Northern Command, the CIA, and Special Forces against every living soul on earth. Every state in the United States has military bases that are armed, mobilized, have personnel, vehicles. They go to the field. They practice urban warfare. We are under attack. We are at war. You have to gather your supplies and be prepared to defend yourself. But if you're going to defend yourself, that's too late. It'll be checkmate. You have to take positive action now. What are your targets? Smart meters are a form of communication and surveillance. Cell towers. They are a transmitter of millimeter waves that can cook you. Governors' residences, they are controlling the police headquarters, vehicles. They are carrying personnel and weapons. Military bases, they have the personnel and the weapons and the vehicles to come and attack you. So at the very least, you have to destroy your smart meter. Go to cell towers, take them down. Go and speak personally to your governor at his mansion. Go and speak personally to the police at their headquarters. You're better off going in numbers. Go to the local military base and speak personally to the general and soldiers and ask them to stand down. We have one more chance at this before it is checkmate over and 6.5 billion people are exterminated. This has been in development for years. This is the new world order they are trying to implement. And you are either going to get augmented to 6G genocide technology through a nasal swab and a vaccination chip, or you're going to be exterminated. And once you are chipped, that is going to be a control device that can be used to kill you if you dissent. The truth is hidden in plain sight. Look at it in movies, TV. Do searches on YouTube, the internet. I personally worked at Headquarters Special Operations Command and watched MITRE Corporation, the Department of Defense, and Google meta-tag the entire internet. If power goes down and we have 3 days of darkness, which is being predicted, the Department of Defense can reconstitute the internet with whatever databases and websites they wish. Your email address might be gone. Your website might go away. Truth sites might go away. Look at Epoch Times, EPOC Times. They've been warning you. I don't know what else I can tell you. You need to gather weapons, gather supplies, and be ready to defend yourself or take positive action today. Gather your fellow living souls today and formulate a plan. Formulate your list of targets. Go speak to these people that I mentioned, heads of the police, military bases, governors, city councilmen. You need to tell them to stand down. And I recommend that you go with personal security devices. All right, I'm Ronald. I'm the leader of the United States. Somebody's got to give you solutions because we know the problem. Now it's time to take action on the solutions. Time is running out. Peace.
Time is running out, guys. We need to take action. That's what I'm trying to do here, but we need to take action in all those ways that he stated. Okay, something's in the air. This is another great video. Okay, let's play this one for a little while. We can get it to play. This is Shaking My Head Productions. Something's in the air, just like there is right now in England and everywhere. And it's not good, folks. It's chemical and bio warfare, and they don't want to tell you about it. They don't acknowledge it.
By the time they tried to evacuate the cities, it was already too late. The infection was everywhere.
This isn't past tense on the plague of bad things. Couldn't be eradicated like smallpox in action. Avian influenza when the jet stream is how it happens. 2020 combined. Coronavirus, body stacking.
The world is now at the start of the influenza pandemic. It started as rioting. It was in the street outside. It was coming through your windows. Sequence the virus and determine its origin. It was a virus. Something in the blood.
A virus which has been engineered at genetic level to be helpful rather than harmful.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord. Oh,
As Ogden Marsh Township. Population 1,200. Then we have this shot. 2 chemtrail jets flying across the sky, laying heavy chemtrails.
Payloads of death, payloads of death.
This is the only chemtrail shot in the entire film. And then the title of the film, The Crazies. 19 minutes into the film, we get our first shot of
In
the
the
cause of the
70s,
zombification. The chemtrail jet crashed in a marsh.
Said it sounded like a plane, Trev. Sheriff, about the reward. Shit, big plane, little plane, what? Come on now.
Oh, well, if you can explain the difference, how those two sound, I might be able to figure it out. People only ask for a reward when there's something to find. Is it going to be a big reward, Sheriff? Travis, you ask about that again, I'm going to throw you out of the boat. And you're not going to shoot me? Travis? Yeah? Kill the engine. It's a big plane, Russ. Why's that? Because we're right on top of it.
Here we see the crashed chemtrail jet with engines sticking out of the water. And at the end of this scene, again, we have the eye in the sky. Now, down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the words, initiate containment protocol. In this next scene, we see that the internet is cut off to the small town.
Phenomena of chemtrails. And, you know, when I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time. And so, oh, that's cool. A jet just went over. And then you started to see a whole bunch of them. And next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood was fighting and arguing and you didn't know why.
Good morning, Miss Garcia.
Good morning, sunshine. I miss you. I could kiss you right now.
Someday.
Curfew is now in effect. All unauthorized citizens must stay indoors.
Tensions rise as we enter the 213th week of lockdown.
A grim new reality emerges.
COVID-23 has mutated.
Beginning thermal scan. Thermal scan normal.
A horrifying new development
New
today.
data confirms the virus attacks the brain tissue.
Whoa, 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 whoa! I'm immune! I'm immune!
Worldwide death toll rises to over
Predictive programming from Hollywood, right in our face. You know, even from The Crazies, which was made in the 70s, John Carpenter.
Sarah, what's going on?
No problem, Leo. Yeah, they murdered him.
Sarah, talk to me.
I think my neighbor has a fever.
It'll be so much easier if you just open the door. Mrs. Grant, you have visitors.
Sarah, please. Sarah, open that door. Sarah, do not open that door.
Beginning thermal scan. 3, 2, 1. Anomaly detected. Armed guards will be arriving in 4 to 6 hours. You must not attempt to leave your home, or you will be shot on sight.
every little thing gonna be alright.
The Phoenix. They showed the Phoenix rising.
I spray my chemtrails at night so I can work all night and hide from prying eyes. I spray my chemtrails at night so I can control your dreams and screams from the skies. Well, it's no conspiracy.
I'll play it in a minute, but you see this? Don't just keep this. What does this say? Hold on. This little says, this patch right here says BA, which is for barium. It says don't just spray I guess. But yeah, this is no joke. These pilots are part of the problem. They're getting paid to spray down on humanity? Really?
Changing your democracy, and you think you got a beat on me. I'll turn to you and say, I never spray in the light of day, oh no. Unless it's a cloudy, then that's okay, you know. You've never seen us, we never spray in the light of day, oh no. I spray my chemtrails at night so I can invalidate your crackpot theory. I spray my chemtrails at night so I can hear Rod Bell while I see the skies. Well, no conspiracy changing your democracy, and you think you got a beat on me. Turn to you and say, I never spray in the light of day, oh no. Unless it's a cloudy, then that's okay, you know. You can't escape us 'cause we never spray in the light of day, oh no. I spray my chemtrails at night. I spray my chemtrails at night. I spray my chemtrails at night. I spray, oh you know, I spray my chemtrails at night. I spray my chemtrails at night. I spray my chemtrails at night. Would I lie to you? I sprayed my chemtrails at night. I sprayed my chemtrails at night. I sprayed my chemtrails.
Sorry, I was trying to show you guys where the part where they show his face. The part of the chemtrails, everybody gets it, and I've noticed it in a lot of people. Right between your eyebrows, in the eyebrow area, you get these deep lines, like myself, when they're blazing down, these grid patterns in the sky, worldwide. You're heavy toxified with aluminums. And it comes and goes, and it can get deeper if you don't know what's going on. So you detox. Z-Tox, zeolites, anything that will detox heavy metals, barium, strontium, aluminum, mercury. There's only a few things that work. So, I mean, you can eat well too, which is a lot of greens. And stay safe, Leo, if you're listening. Enjoy your ride back. That's pretty cool. He's getting sprayed with chemtrails in England, Leo the Lion, warrior mystic, and he's having to breathe it, and he's watching it as it plays out all the time. And it's heavy in England as well as everywhere, like Pennsylvania. Yesterday, on November 3rd, 2020 here, they were spraying grid patterns and chemtrails over Pennsylvania while they were voting. Same with Grand Rapids, Michigan. Okay, so this is true. This is going on worldwide. And where that guy's line in his face, that pilot, if I could just get back to that frame, you would know what I'm talking about. Right here. Right, it's right here. Hold on. Aluminum fiberglass mix. Yes. Polymer. And see how they're using the hive mind, the cube, and all this too? That's no joke. This is somewhat of the makeup of the nano. The nanotechnology that they're spraying down, you can look at it under a microscope. Has those forms that glow just like that. Here we go. Oh, that line, heavy line between the third eye. That's from the old chemtrails.
Turn to you and say, I never spray in the light of day, oh no. Unless it's a cloudy, then that's okay, you know. You've never seen us, we never spray in the light of day, oh no. You can't escape us, 'cause we never spray in the light of day, oh no.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. The moon. That's why the moon has that rainbow color around it. And it's nasty looking because they're spraying day and night. No joke. The moon never had colors around it before, folks. Ever. Until the recent years.
I spread my chemtrails at night. Would I lie to you? I spread my chemtrails at night. I spread my chemtrails at night. I spread my chemtrails.
Well, if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. I was there and I saw what you did. I saw it with my own eyes. So you can wipe off that grin, you know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord. Well, I remember, don't worry. How could I ever forget? It's the first time, the last time we ever met. And I know the reason why you keep your silence up. No, you don't fool me. The hurt doesn't show, the pain still grows. It's no stranger to you and me. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, oh Lord.
Guys, look at the sun I have today. Tuesday, 2/20/2018. Walpole, Mass.
I mean, really? This is what we're looking at today? I mean, when you look up at the sun, you don't see this. It's just bright. But when you record it, it's just...
Ms. Fitzgerald, I want to thank you for making your point on your position on irradiating the public. And I also want to bring to all of your attention what is at stake. You know, the WISO bill was about as draconian as you can get, and it was really an attack on all of our rights to say no to technology that has not been tested for effects on human beings. I'm talking about the deployment of millimeter wave technology. These frequencies that are going to comprise the networks of microcell systems, those systems that you tried to have Mr. Domer have full reign over, but fortunately pulled from the last meeting agenda, have not been tested for effects on people or on wildlife. I'm going to talk about something tonight that I've never talked about publicly before, and I'm going to talk about it right now. The technology that's coming is going to be broadcasting at 60 gigahertz. That is the absorption spectrum of oxygen molecules. There are instances where 60 gigahertz systems have been deployed in the United States, and it is a weaponized system. You don't mess
Oh boy, you see what happens? They didn't like that. I was trying to connect the dots at the end of the video. That's Joe Fullerton Informer that I showed at the beginning of this video, the beginning of this stream. It's important that you listen to him and his channel, the last video that I just played at the beginning of this video. You can go to, I dropped the link plenty times in the chat. And they don't like that I'm showing you guys this. So let me back it up. This is here because they cut it out purposely. Bastards.
Is it affects the orbital properties
decisions are being made for masses of people. Glad you're going to be recusing yourself from all the votes. Is it affects the orbital properties of the electrons and the hemoglobin's ability to bind the oxygen molecules. This is horrific and frightening, and health decisions are being made for masses of people by elected lackey bureaucrats that thumb their noses at warnings and believe the lies that come from the scientific apparatus that is owned lock, stock, and barrel by the wireless industry. I pray for Mr. Domer that he exercises wisdom in the days ahead, because the tremendous responsibility that is almost passed off on him was one I would not want.
So, yep, that was Shaking My Head Productions. That was Joe Imbrioso and Joe the Fullerton Informer. That's where I started off my videos today, guys, because that's what's going on. So now the human resonance has spiked. Since the last 2 days, it was very calm, but now it's spiking again. You watch the birds, they're flying around, they're more active. The frequencies are high as we speak. Let's listen to what's going on in my country with the puppet show and election.
rubbish, that assertion,
rubbish.
saying that it is incorrect and outrageous to say so. All eyes are on key swing states, especially in the Rust Belt and in particular Pennsylvania. Here, Donald Trump is ahead, but there are many votes still to be counted. The president is also projected to have taken neighboring Ohio. Donald Trump has held the Sunshine State of Florida after Joe Biden lost key parts of the Latino vote. Wisconsin, Georgia, and North Carolina are still counting and there for the taking. There is better news for the Democrats in Arizona, where Joe Biden is ahead in what is a traditionally Republican state. He's also projected to win in Minnesota. From here in Washington, D.C., Sky's Alistair Bunkle reports.
Donald Trump had told us time and again not to write him off. But despite no landslide, no win even, the president once again defied the polls. And with the final few key states still in the mix, he went on the offensive from the White House.
This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list, okay?
It didn't take the Biden team long to hit back, his campaign manager saying it will be the American people who decide this election. And their legal teams were on standby. The Democrats had been expecting such a move from the now familiar Trump playbook. The former vice president was prepared earlier in the night.
We believe we're on track to win this election. We knew because of the unprecedented early vote and the mail-in vote, it was going to take a while. We're going to have to be patient until the hard work of tallying votes is finished. And it ain't over till every vote is counted. Every ballot is counted.
On the streets of Washington, the uncertainty has fed a febrile atmosphere, discontent with Trump and nervousness about which way the country is heading. As we'd suspected all along, it'll be those Rust Belt states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, that will decide America's path forward. Biden's supporters remain confident.
I wish this would have been resolved earlier, but, you know, we have to keep the hope alive. I mean, Joe Biden's such a wonderful man. He's such a wonderful, ethical. He's going to bring the country together, and that's what we're hoping for.
I'm still very positive of, Vice President Biden's going to be our next president.
It's going to take a little longer than we thought, and so we're optimistic. We're just we're Americans. We're used to having things quickly, and now we got to be a little more patient.
Oh, I'm not patient. I'm not optimistic. We shouldn't be patient to people that are microwaving us and spraying chemtrails and which is death in the skies, payloads of death, heavy metals, barium, strontium, radioactive material. Well, they're just poisoning our food supply, guys. And I have a really bad headache, so I'm going to call it a stream for now. But you guys, I'll talk to you soon. And hey, Leo, stay light, keep your light shining out there. You too, Scott. Our synergies are with all of us. Our energy is within, and we are portraying the love and light that we should. So, Biden gets no hiding. Fool took. Yeah, we're all. This is nothing but a psyop. So, we all know that, guys. I'm going to go power up and feel better because they don't like me streaming anymore. They don't like me streaming this. My ears are slightly ringing. Like I said, we'll talk soon. Much love and light. And I'll talk to you guys later. And if anything comes up, I will let you guys know if I see any changes in my surroundings. Okay? Take care. Enjoy your day, guys. All of you. And stay safe out there. Remember, no fear. All right? No fear ever. All right. Much love. Take care.